Hello, good evening. Welcome along to the Lee Valley Velopark, the iconic home of the London 2012 Olympic Games and the start of what we can say is a monumental moment for British track cycling and for the inaugural edition of the London 3-day, 3 nights of incredible racing ahead of us. Thanks for joining us. Martin McDonald and Matt White with you to take you through tonight's race action. What a packed night of racing we have ahead of us, and some of the biggest names in track cycling fresh from the World Championships. And we are just about to introduce you to the riders that will be taking to the track this evening. Track cycling, iconic racing since the late 19th century and now into the modern format. We're going to compact, as we said, that 6-day format down into 3 days of racing. So our riders are on the track. And Matt, so excited to see this new format, London 3-day, 4 years in the making. It's such a huge moment.
It is, and to see the guys and girls straight off the World Championships as well, looked like a great atmosphere in Copenhagen last weekend. And to see this format in downtown London is very exciting for British cycling and the world of track cycling in general.
And for anyone that's new to track cycling, they may not have seen the 6 days. You know, we kind of see, you know, the 6 days on the little tracks. I was over in Ghent last year and sort of taking that 6-day format and just compacting it down into 3 days as well. But we've got all the elements of the big 6-day races. We're going to see the Dernies out on the track. We've got some Derny races and, of course, the famous Madison chases as well. And we've got some of the, if not the biggest names in the world of Madison racing on this track in both the men's and the women's competitions.
No, we do. We've got, well, for example, Roger Klug, fresh off his winning his 3rd World Madison title last weekend in Copenhagen. Teamed up with his usual partner. And then the Italians come with a really strong team with Consoni and Viviani, who be one of the favourites for sure in the men's side of things.
Let's run you through your teams on the track. So team number 16, Will Perrott and Will Tidball. We then go on to the team of Team 15. We've got James Ambrose Parish and William Gilbank. James lives closest to the Lee Valley Velopark as well. You kind of could say he's pretty much grown up on these boards. So we'll see if it gives him a bit of a home field advantage here this evening. Charlie Tanfield and Callum 12s are team number 14. They will be our next team to be presented. They are in the blue jerseys. James Ambrose Parish and Will Gilbank are in those black jerseys with the orange flashes from Screen Bikes. Charlie Tanfield and Callum 12s are team 14. They are in those blue jerseys. Charlie Tanfield is one of the, you would say, big stars of British track cycling. And Callum 12 spends his race season on the road in Spain. Moving on to team 13, they are in the green jerseys. We have the Dane, Oscar Winkler, 24 years old, track specialist, breakthrough year, winning his national championships. And he is paired up with Cian Keogh, the 35-year-old Irishman. We move on to Team 12, Keegan Hornblow and then Fabio van den Bos. So we've got a New Zealand-Belgian combo coming in here between these two. Fabio saw him in action in the Ghent 6-day last year as well, and it's like a little compact Ghent track.
And then Keegan obviously coming from the Team Pursuit background with the young Kiwi.
Moving on to Team 11, Jules Hesters. They are sponsored by What Bike. And we've got Jules Hesters and Lindsay de Wilde, so the 25-year-old Belgian in Jules Hesters. And Lindsay de Wilde, 29-year-old Belgian. So as we said, this is their the sort of backbone of their track cycling, especially as they go into the winter. Moving on to Team 10, and you can see on the riders' backs as well, you've got a red number and a black number, which helps you tell the riders apart. So we have Wojciech Skolarski from Poland, and you've got Jan Willem van Schip. They are Team 10.
One of the most experienced teams, I think, there as well.
Team number 9. It's a fairly well-known jersey there with the rainbows. Yuri Havoc. Teamed up now, bit of a late change. Teamed up here with the young Brit, Ben Wiggins. A lot of excitement to see this pairing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, really good balance of experience and youth, in that pairing.
Moving on to Team 8. They are in the orange jerseys, and they are the Event Suite team. We've got Vincent Hopperzak, the Dutchman, paired here with Philip Heinen. So 2 fast riders there for the Netherlands. They are in the orange jerseys. We'll move on to Team 7, and it's their jersey. You can see it's a fair big nod to where Robin Skivelt and Anders Finbo are from.
Yep, our 2 Danes.
So the 28-year-old powerhouse that is Anders Finbo, coming from the individual pursuit background. Moving on to Team 6, and a good mix here. Experience and youth. We have Claudio Imhoff and Campbell Parrish. So again, good mix. So we've got the Swiss man and the 19-year-old Canadian. Again, for Campbell as well, being paired with someone like Claudio is really important.
Yeah, a big experience for him, teaming up with one of the most experienced track riders on the planet.
On to Team 5. We have Dennis Rugovac and Jan Vons. So the 31-year-old rider, Dennis Rugovac, and Jan Vons, the 23-year-old rider. That is Team 5. Team 4, what a team, what a pairing, what a treat we are in for the team here. Elia Viviani and Simone Consoni. We know, Matt, whenever they come the race, they come to win.
Yeah, they're here for business, and fresh off the World Championships as well. Yeah, one of the big pairings of the London 3-day for sure.
Moving on to Team 3. And a bit of a late change into this team. So, Rhys Britton, and he is paired with Frank Longstaff. So, an all-British pairing is Team 3. Rhys Britton, very experienced track rider, 5 times British national track champion. And then we move on to Team 2. What a pairing. A Wine Duel and Alex Dowsett.
It is. It's been a while since I've seen Alex on the track. It's great to see him here, and also one of the locals in London as well.
Yeah, great to see Alex Dowsett here. 2 stage wins in the Giro d'Italia. Former hour record holder as well. Set that with 52.937 kilometers. And then we move on, and they've got a European jersey. We've got our European stripes and a pairing, Roger Kluger and Theo Reinhardt. What a pairing as well. And Roger's just, we say, they're coming into this riding high on a wave of excitement there as well after the World Championships.
Yeah, he was. He picked up a great, his 3rd world title last weekend in Copenhagen, and certainly one of the most experienced campaigners we've got in world track cycling.
Those are our riders that we are looking forward to this evening, and we're going to kick off with our first Madison Chase of this London 3-day, and we call them a chase in the 6 days. And we have a first sprint will come after approximately 10 minutes of racing. And then we will have 40, when we see 40 laps to go, we'll have sprints at 30, 20, 10 and 0. And our final sprint is for double points. So 5, 3, 2 and 1 points. So we're going to kick things off to our Madison Chase. So we've got one ride. So in our Madison, we have our one half of our pairing for anyone that's jumped into our coverage who may be new to the Madison. So we have one half of our pairing resting above the blue line. When you meet your partner, you grab them by the hand and you sling them into the action. So there is a huge amount of skill as well in a Madison race as well. At the moment, we're kind of bowling round to hand slings. It's just a good way at this point in the start of the chase, just to get you warmed up, get you into it. It's when you get into that real rough and tumble, when we're really up at warp speed and you're coming into your partner and you're grabbing the hand, and the skill that you need as a Madison rider. And it should be it feels a lot of the time, for anyone that's never done a Madison, it looks fairly brutal, but it should be fairly effortless. You've got a lot of control that you have to put in as a Madison rider.
Yeah, the good teams, the changes are very, very smooth, and but there is a lot going on in Madison. There's a lot to comprehend, especially when these guys get tired and guys and girls get tired, and the point score system, and there's a lot of riders on the track at the one time, but they are very, very skilled. There's no way you're getting around these Madisons without a very, very high skill level.
And as you watch it, you're always, as a Madison rider as well, you're looking around the track. You're looking for your partner. You're keeping an eye on the scoreboard. You've got to be a mathematician, especially over the course of 3 days as well, that you're constantly trying to work out in your head, okay, where are we in the points? What if we gain a lap? Where do those points go? So you've got to be a bit of a mathematician while your heart rate's through the roof and you're seeing stars.
You do, and you've got to know your rivals. You've got to know your rivals' strengths and weaknesses, and to capitalise off those at certain times in the race.
So in the Madison as well, our laps gained, so the 20 points for the laps gained, they go straight onto the team's GC standings as well. So they go onto that total for their 3-day total. We've got 2 teams off the front. Yuri Havoc, you can see off the front here on the chase. And it is Team 8, Vincent Homschak and Philip Heinen, that have also gone clear. We see the Italians of Elia Viviani and Simone Consoni both chasing down. So we've got 3 teams now who've just gained about quarter of a lap here. So we can see the 3 teams all coming together. So Viviani and Consoni getting themselves up there, getting into the mix. They come up for the change, and Consoni gets thrown in by Viviani. So those early 10 minutes of racing, you can see the riders just looking across the track. So Fabio van der Bos and Keegan Hornblow in those black jerseys. And track cycling as well, the handlebars that the riders are using now have changed quite a lot in the last few years as well. We've gone now with these really, really narrow little bars, which allows on the track the riders to almost get into a real sort of tuck TT position.
Yeah, definitely. And then the legal extensions there, which they can get into basically a time trial position as well. So the riders are very slick, very aero, and this first move of the Madison Chase looks like it'd be a successful one. They're coming close to taking a lap.
So they're just seeing the back of the bunch just in front of them. So about 20 points for a lap gain. As we've said, we will get our first sprints around 10 minutes into the racing. So 10 laps to go will be shown when we start to get into our sprints. But in the 6 days and here at the London 3-day, it's about gaining laps. That's a big part of what this sort of racing is about, this sort of format.
Yeah, it is, and always an aggressive style of racing wins the Madisons and wins the 6 days, and we've seen that already in the first 5 minutes. This 3 teams still haven't made it yet to the back of the group. The main peloton has really turned up the gas now, and actually the breakaway is losing a little bit of time now. So it'll be interesting if they can make contact.
So our 3 teams working really strongly together, but the hammer has gone down a bit at the front of the bunch. You can see Yuri Havoc just tucked down, and you can see the riders just resting at the top of the track. Viviani and Consoni about to come in for the change. Viviani just drops down, gets slung into the action. He's just trying to get that pull, aerodynamic pull off the peloton just in front of them. Team 8 go in for the change. They're almost with them. pressure's just gone out of the front of the bunch just a little bit. Claudio Imhoff on the front of the bunch as Team 8 up the pressure, and it does look like we're about to get our first lap gain. And they make contact. So first lap of the London 3 is made. So the team of Vincent Hoppersack and Philip Heinen take the lap, along with Team 4 and Team 9. So they will get those 20 points gaining the lap. So you can see there they've gained the lap. So 1 lap down now, so they are a lap ahead. So Consoni and Viviani, Hoppersack and Heinen, Havoc and Wiggins gain the lap. So that's good gain already.
No, the pace has certainly not stopped, and other teams now looking to attempt a lap change, lap take as well.
So those laps gained will become all important as this London 3 goes on. There's the format. Got to try and gain those laps, put you ahead. And as teams go on within this, on the opening night especially, you're kind of mindful a little bit that you've got 3 days of racing ahead of you, because you have that mighty chase to come on Sunday as well.
Yeah, there is. And also for some of these riders, it's the start of their track season, and some of the guys who've come off a long road season as well. So there is guys at various forms of condition in October. Some are coming up for a big winter, and some are starting to wind down after a long road season as well. And
also some riders are coming back from their end of season. They might have had a vacation, they've gone on a little holiday, and then they've come in here, and this is the start of kick-starting 2025 as well. We're now getting a move from Team 1, so Roger Kluger and Theo Reinhardt start to make that move, that lap gained early on. And it was an early lap gain. Sometimes it's a bit of a shock to the system as well when you come in and a team take a lap early on. But it is sometimes teams just need to settle into it a little bit as well. You get that travelling out of the legs. You might have had a chance for a bit of a warm up and a bit of a ride around the velodrome earlier on. And a lot of teams, a lot of riders will have been here to the Lee Valley Velo Park. It may have been right the way back for London 2012 Olympics. It might be World Cups or World Championships that we've had here as well. Every track that you go to in the world is different, isn't it, in its field? Yeah, definitely. And also, different teams have different characteristics, and that was a very, very early move in the first couple of minutes of this first chase. It was a successful one, and now the teams, I think, have settled in a little bit now and getting ready for these sprints coming up. And when we look into the sort of history of the 6-day, they, as we said, they traditionally are on a lot shorter tracks. So Ghent is just over sort of 160 meters. It's almost 100 meters shorter than this. So it's a lot easier to take a lap. When you take a lap on a 250 meter track as well, it's a whole different ball game in terms of the effort that it takes to gain those laps. Yeah, no, definitely. Now, some of these tracks, these specialised 6-day tracks are under 200 meters, which is, it's a big difference when you're going at the track 180 meters to 250. And it is that moment as well as a trackie when you kind of look across the track and think, right, I've got half a lap. And then the amount of effort that it takes to sort of get that last bit is huge. But we've got our team off the front in terms of Team 1, and just try and come up now to gain a lap. So just latching now onto the back is the team. You're watching out for those European champs jerseys. They've got the European colours, Roger Kluger and Theo Reinhardt. Their score will be added to the board momentarily. And we're going into our first sprint now. 4 laps to go into our first sprint. So they've been given the nod that this first sprint will be put on the board. And we've got Team 12, the team that are making the moves, so Fabian van der Bos and Keegan Hornblower. are the team that are just trying to make their way off the front. You've got those light blue jerseys as well of Team 5, Dennis Rugovac and Jan Vons.
No, we've got 4 teams have gone clear here coming up for the bell.
So 5, 3, 2 and 1 points are on offer on our first sprint. You can see the teams that have gained the lap just in the top corner of your screen as well. So coming round for the sprint, and it is Team 5 that come through to take that one. So the team in the light blue, they take the 5 points. They're going to persist with this one to try and gain the lap if they can. So we can see now from that shot, they've got about half a lap on the peloton over the main bunch. You just get to this point now, you glance across the track, you're just hoping as well, you've just taken that sprint, you're just hoping that the wind goes out of the sails of the bunch a little bit after that sprint, and you can try and gain that lap. So there you have it, confirmation. So 5 to Team 5, so Rugovac and Van den Bosch, Hester and 12s, so they take the 5, 3, 2 and 1 points. So nice smooth changes as well. The other thing with teams, especially when you look at that sort of combo team of Fabio Van den Bosch and Keegan Hornblow, is getting used to the changes, because some teams are really, really experienced together. Viviani, Consoni, they know each other inside out. Sometimes in something like the London 3, you're coming in with a completely new partner, and you might have been on the track this afternoon, they may have managed to hook up in the days coming into this. There's a lot of faith and a lot of confidence in each other that you have to have.
That is true. That is true. The speeds these guys are doing, you have to have a lot of faith and trust in your partner. And yeah, like you said, some of these partnerships go years back, and some of them the first time they've met each other tonight.
But that shows the professional track riders as well. The trackies are instinctive. You've got that instinct. You've got that sort of that inbuilt radar. As we always say, track riders can accelerate forward at warp speed while looking back over their shoulder.
Yeah, you definitely need that instinct on the boards. The speeds these guys are producing is incredible.
Our head of the race is Team 4, Team 10. So we've got Havoc just off the front as well. So Team 4 of Viviani and Consoni going for another lap. Straight on them are Yuri Havoc.
They seem to have got a good half a lap gap at the moment. Cooperating well, the 4 teams out front.
So just going through the start-finish line, Yuri Havoc leading through. Havoc and the team of Awine Duel and Alex Dowsett with Consoni and Viviani. Really nice change. And then you got Wojciech Skolarski and Jan Willem van Schip, the team number 10. So this is a big moment. So we look on the scoreboard. So we got Rugovac and Vonch, Van den Bosch and Hornblow, De Wilder and Hester, Tanfield and 12s, Kluger and Reinhardt, Viviani and Consoni, Hopperzak and Heinen, Havoc and Wiggins, Tidball and Perrett are a lap ahead with our point scorers, the 5, 3, 2 and 1 points. So that gives you a better insight now into the point scores and the lap gains here in the London 3. There's Jan Willem van Schip wearing number 10. So Wiggins, Ben Wiggins and Yuri Havoc with him. So we're just getting another team that are looking to try and gain the lap here. You can see the resting riders. You just get the change, swing up the track, and then just rest above that blue line until your partner comes through. So we've seen already, Matt, the rough and tumble of this one. Laps gained here, there, and everywhere already. This is what the London 3 is all about. It is just fast and furious all the time.
Yeah, it is. It is, and that's what makes this style of racing so attractive. It is always aggressive, and it is a really good spectacle to come watch trackside as well.
Yeah, so if you want to come and watch us live over the next few days, try and come down, pay a visit. And this velodrome as well, the sort of legacy of the London 2012 Olympics is very much in evidence on this track as well. It's always in use. It's constantly being used. We're looking to our next teams that just make contact with the back of the bunch. So that Union Jack jersey. Just getting back on, so those teams that are now gaining those laps, Viviani and Consoni, just weaving their way back through. And we quite quickly, Matt, sort of see, you'll see within a 3-day as well, within this format, you'll see that hierarchy as well. Your Klugers and your Reinhardts, your Consonis and your Vivianis, the experience in the 6 days of someone like Yuri Havoc as well, it becomes quite well established.
They do, and those pairings and those guys with a lot of experience, they know when to move. They can sense when there's a bit of tension in the group and pick their moments very wisely.
You can see an update there. So Viviani and Consoni, Havoc and Wiggins are now on the same lap. They've got a lap ahead of Rugovac on Vonch, Van der Bos and Hornblow. Then you go down to Team 12 there, Britton and Longstaff. All together there. So we're looking at Team 1 in the European Champ Stripes. Have just made contact with the back of the group. Roger Kluger and Teo Reinhardt back to the group. So we're looking now at the head of the race. It's going to be the team of team number 11 and team number 7. Going into the change, not far off the back of the bunch. Looks like we're about to get another lap gain. They're not far away now from the back of the bunch. It's the 2 teams in red. So the team in red and the team in the Danish jersey, there they are. Just trying to get on to the group if they can. Robin Skiffield and Anders Finbo. And the other team, Lindsay de Wilde and Jules Hester, not far away now from the back of the bunch. You can see we're getting those sprints. Rugovac and Vonch. So we're looking for our next sprint. These are our 2 teams. This is the head of the race. So it switches so quickly. You can see here this evening, if you're tuning in, it is blisteringly quick and it changes, it spins on a knife edge constantly. Does a Madison chase like this as they power to try and get onto the main part of the bunch here. They make contact, put themselves back onto the same lap. So Kluger and Reinhardt, Viviani and Consani. We got Hoppershak and Heinen, Havoc and Wiggins on the same lap. And then we've just had Lindsay de Wilde and Jules Hester and Robin Skiveld and Anders Finbo. Now also on the same lap. So the head of the race now switches to team number 12 in the black, just going through the line. We got that 4-rider group. But Matt, we can see that Consoni, the team of Consoni and Viviani and Havoc and Wiggins have just snuck back in there.
They have. We've seen a couple of teams now make the same move at very good timing. And the Italians are certainly a team to watch here. They've made a couple of smart attacks, and they're going after their 3rd lap now.
They are indeed. Viviani just glances across the track. So smooth. Elia Viviani, former Olympic Omnium champion, road sprinter. Viviani, I think for me, when Viviani racing in the European Championships last year, raced the road race in the morning, went into track in the evening as well.
It was impressive. It was an impressive feat.
It's the sort of thing you do as a club rider, though, isn't it? Go to a road race in the morning, go to your track league at night. It was just something special for Viviani when he did that. What a class rider. So we're looking for those points. Ahead of the race, so team number 10, Wojciech Skolarski, Jan Willem van Schip. It's still the teams, team 12, just off the front, so Fabio van den Bos and Keegan Hornblow. Ben Wiggins throwing in Yuri Havoc. Ben Wiggins, World Junior Madison champion. Been a European Junior champion, is a medalist as well, carrying that Wiggins name. He's a former World Junior champion as well. It's great to see him up here, and he'll really benefit from being paired with the experience of Yuri Havoc. And that 4-rider group here, Matt, are about to take another lap.
Yeah, they have. So we're going to have two teams out front there, the Italians, and then that combination we were just talking about before. And it is great experience for Ben. And he was world champion last year in the juniors, and partnered up with one of the most experienced riders we've got here racing tonight.
So we've gone through 40 laps to go here in our first chase of the London 3. So 40 laps, we will have sprints at 30 laps to go, 20 laps to go, 10 laps to go, and then we will have double points on the final sprint. We see our scoreboard updates. So Viviani, Consoni, Havoc and Wiggins are now 1 lap ahead, and we now start to get into those sprints, so those points scored as well, super important. We've got 3 teams just now trying to go clear. Our team in yellow are the team at the head of the race, team number 16, Will Tidball, just off the front with our Czech pairing. So Dennis Rugovac and Jan Vons are also just off the front, and then it's the team of Team 3. So Reece Britton and Frank Longstaff going clear. So now for them, if they're not quite there yet this evening in terms of the power, and I was just about to say they're almost onto the back of the bunch now. They can start to just chip away and start to pick up some points as well.
Yeah, look, this is the first time we've seen the yellow team move actually, and it is a smart time to move because there is a lot of points in this last 30 laps of the chase this evening. Coming around for the first sprint with 30 laps to go. They'll take these points and then they will join the back of the group and take their lap.
So almost on, they get that bell to the sprints. The head of the race is still with the team here in yellow. So they go through with 30 laps to go. That will update on the points. So 29 to go, still our team in yellow that are the head of the race. They haven't gained the lap as of yet, almost there. And then for our groups behind, these are the agonising moments as well as a Madison rider, isn't it? When you're almost there.
Yeah, well, as you say, that the bunch has slowed up a little bit, which will give the blue team and the black and team number 3 a chance to get on quickly, because there's nothing worse than being stuck in no man's land after a heavy chase, a 10-lap chase.
And sometimes as well, it's just as a team like Roger Kluger and Teo Reinhardt just put the hammer down on the front just when you're almost there, and you start to feel it, you're trying to gain that lap, and we just see our 2 teams going off the front, and they really have put the hammer down. And this is the point as well for those teams that are not quite there. You feel like you're riding through treacle.
No, they've still got some work to do because, like you said, the 3 teams have gone off the front just as they approach the back of the bunch, but they look like they're getting there. They're agonisingly close, but we've got 3 teams riding very aggressive to take another quick lap.
Yeah, so they team 11, so Lindsay de Wilde, Jules Hester off the front here with Roger Kluger, Teo Reinhardt. We have our team 8, so Vincent Hoppeschak and Philip Heinen are there as well, the team in orange. So those 3 teams trying to go clear.
Also, here come the Italians again, the same combination, and the Havoc and Wiggins partnership as well, marking the Italians very hard as they also attempt to come across.
So you can see the update on your screen. So Elia Viviani, Simone Consoni, along with Yuri Havoc and Ben Wiggins are 1 lap ahead. Our next group being led there, you can see Rugovac and Vonch have 8 points. Tidball and Perrett have 5 points. We have Van der Bosch and Hornblow with 3. De Wilde and Hester, Hoppesack and Heinen, and then you go down through to the next group of riders that are 2 laps down. We get the bell for the next sprint. And you can see the battle between Elia Viviani and Yuri Havoc. The bikes at the line, so the team in blue and white, Consoni and Viviani, along with Yuri Havoc and Ben Wiggins.
No, they've taken the points, but then there's been a bit of a lull in proceedings from those two teams. Just at that time, the bunch has accelerated again, so they're sort of stuck now with half a lap behind, but they did take the point successfully.
There you have it. You see the throw to the line there for Simone Consoni, throwing the bike at the line. Those are our two teams just marking each other. So Yuri Havoc and Ben Wiggins, Simone Consoni and Elia Viviani. So they'll update with their points. And we've got another 4-rider group.
Yep, which consists of our European champions who are at it again, looking for another lap.
There's our leaders, Team 9, Team 4. So Team 9 in those black jerseys with the rainbows. Our team from Italy, Simone Consoni and Elia Viviani. That is the two teams at the head of the race. We've got 4 teams chasing. You've got those European jerseys of Kluger and Reinhardt. We've got the Danish jerseys as well of Skiveld and Finbo. They're also in that group. The orange jerseys of Hoppersack and Heinen are also there. And then team number 11, Lindsay de Wilde and Jules Hester. That is our 4-rider chasing group. So they are about to make contact with our 2 leaders. So you can see there the points update. So Havoc and Wiggins with 5, de Wilde and Hester, Consoni and Viviani. Hoppersack and Heinen, points scored. Nice change, but they are 2 teams at the head of the race, about to get some company.
Yeah, well, so now we've got our 6 teams, which will should make contact within the next lap or 2. And again, usual customers, we've got 3 teams again looking to take their 4th lap of the evening.
We are indeed. So that sprint tree, Havoc and Wiggins taking the 5, Viviani and Consoni, Hester, de Wilde and Hester, Skiveld and Finbo, 5, 3, 2 and 1 points. We have got 2 sprints to go. We'll have 1 with 10 laps to go, and then we have those double points on the line. If you're just tuning in, welcome aboard. It is night 1 of the London 3 here at the Lee Valley Velo Park in London, and this has set us up for the next 3 days. A mighty battle at the front. Simone Consoni driving through here to take the maximum points on that sprint, taking the 5 points.
That was a brilliant move, and actually, as he did, winning the sprint there, made contact immediately with the bunch, which is a great time to do it, with only 9 laps to go of this first chase of the evening.
It is, and what a chase. It has been relentless, the pace so far in our first Madison chase of the night, 25-minute race. And you can see Kluger coming through to the front. Yuri Havoc just coming over the top. I'm feeling another lap gain before there's just about enough time with 8 laps to go. If you put in a mighty burst, you can almost gain a lap. It's touch and go in a Madison with 8 laps to go.
It will be. The yellow team look like they're moving quite well here, and definitely pushing on to try to take that lap in the last 7.
So good move, though. Double points. 10, 6, 4 and 2 points on the line. Just taking a glance back over the shoulder, Will Tidball and Will Perrett. Medalists, European Championships, former World Scratch Champion, Will Tidball, Will Perrett, Nations Cup, European Omnium medals in his career. Just looking back over the shoulder, looking for Imhoff and Parrish, the team in white. Going through, but 3 teams just moving off the front, and I think the draw of those double points now, Matt, at the final sprint is a little bit too tempting for the likes of Havoc.
Yeah, it looks like they've bogged down a little bit here, and here comes the very fast approaching bunch.
So just trying to make that move now, Imhoff and Parrish. Claudio Imhoff, the experienced Swiss man, team number 6 in the white jerseys. They have 3 laps to go in our first chase of the night here at the London 3. There's Simone Consoni in that blue jersey. He's got the red number. Theo Reinhardt in the European Champs jersey with the red number for Team 1. Ben Wiggins and Yuri Havoc on the front as the team in white Team 6 throw themselves in. 1 lap to go. They have got the head of the race now. Team 6, Claudio Imhoff and Campbell Parrish. As over the top of the bunch goes Elia Viviani, driving down the back straight. Huge acceleration now from the Italian. It is going to be the team of Claudio Imhoff and Campbell Parrish that take the double points. Elia Viviani takes second. We have our team in red, Lindsay De Wilde, Jules Hester, and it looked like Vincent Oppersack and Philip Heinen taking the points on the final sprint.
It was a very impressive turn of speed from Viviani there to finish second in that this last double point sprint of the day, which will take the Italian pairing into the lead.
It is our first chase of the night is done, and I think, Matt, it sets us up beautifully for the next 3 days. That gives us an insight of where our teams are. It gives us a really good view of the kind of hierarchy on who is here already and really looking to stomp their authority on this London 3 from the gun.
Yeah, definitely, Marty. Now, the Italians were very impressive, European champions as well, and then our combination with one of the most experienced riders here, the Swiss combination here as well. They certainly proved who's ready to play. Who's ready to play?
It is. Welcome along. If you've just joined us, what a night of racing we have ahead of us here at the inaugural London 3 at the Lee Valley Velodrome. We played host to the London 2012 Olympic Games on these boards. We've had World Cups, we've had World Championships here in over the last 12 years plus now, and it's important as well to have a legacy of a velodrome as well, and these Olympic facilities that as we see Simone Consoni and Elia Viviani come to line, it's so important for a host city of an Olympics where you see a velodrome like this that's just being used day in, day out.
Yeah, and that also starts from club level through to international competition as we've got over the weekend. So it is great to see a facility getting utilised in this way, and it's great to have international track cycling back here in London.
And we had our youths out before we kicked off for this evening, as they always do in the sixes as well. We usually have an under 23 competition that goes on early on in the evening. So we had our youth groups out earlier on. But there you have it, Elia Viviani, Simone Consoni, they are here and they mean business. And they look super smooth there though as well.
They did. They look very comfortable throughout, taking 4 laps along the way. And like I said before, a very impressive turn of speed from Viviani to grab some very crucial points in the double point last sprint of the night.
And next up, we're going to be presenting the elite women's field that we will be seeing in action. And we're going to go down and hear from our winners, Elia Viviani and Simone Consoni.
Gentlemen, we spoke earlier on and you said you were here for a little bit of fun, but it's much more fun, isn't it, when you start off with a win like that?
Yeah, always, no? When you start well, then it's a good start, and then you can be more in control, no? So that was our tactic, so be always on 0 lap and then make sure in the final 40 laps we make point to be leading, and yeah, we are happy with that start, and then yeah, we're looking forward for the first night.
Simone, obviously you had a lot of success at the Olympics as a pair and then later at World Championships. How does the kind of momentum that you build transfer as we're coming into the 3-day?
I mean, we love to be in the track, so that's it. We enjoy every day here, especially in London. We had really good memories, so it's good to start like that.
Gentlemen, congratulations. No doubt we'll see you for the rest of the weekend.
Great to hear from the guys. And we are going to bring the elite women onto the track very, very soon. And they will have their first chase of the night. And again, what a field we have assembled for you here for the London 3. Thanks for your company. Martin McDonald and Matt White with you to take you through tonight's race action. I hope you enjoyed our first chase of the night. It is quite a spectacle of racing. And there you have it. So let's give you an update on our first chase of the night. Viviani Constantini with 14 points to Wilder and Hesters with 11, Havoc and Wiggins with 5, Hoppersack and Heinen with 2, Kluger and Reinhardt on the same lap. Then 2, we go back 2 laps to Rugevac and Vonsch, Tidball and Perret, Vandenbos and Hornblow, Skolarski and Van Schip, Skiveld and Finbo. 3 laps down there. Some points scored though for Team 7. That is our standing so far. And then you go down 3 laps down, Britton and Longstaff and Tanfield and 12s with a Wine-Door. And Alex Dowsett, Imhoff and Paris, 4 laps down. Ambrose and Parrish and Gilbank there, and Winkler and Keogh at 4 laps. No points scored for them. And with each race, it will change. This sort of format, it just spins on a knife edge. And the men will be back after the Women's Madison Chase. They have a team elimination, a points race, a Derny race, a Madison flying lap, and a 30-minute Madison Chase to finish things off. The women will have the same program as well here this evening. They will follow the same format of racing. And again, a lot of excitement, Matt. We're going to bring the present the elite women's teams, but a lot of excitement about the field that have been assembled for us here for the London 3 amongst the elite women.
Yeah, definitely. We've got some great international riders here, and obviously some very popular homegrown talent as well.
We have indeed. As the riders just make their way up onto the track, you'll get used to as well the familiar jerseys. The riders will be presented in as well. Give you a good idea of what they are racing in as they will line up on the track. So as we said, some homegrown talent that you'll be watching, the likes of Robin Clay and Frankie Hall, Maddie Leach and Sophie Lewis. If you're a fan of the sort of domestic British scene, as Matt said, some of the homegrown talent that we are going to see in action. And there you have it. There's Katie Archibald and Nia Evans in those light blue jerseys. Great. I think for anyone, I think after the year that Katie Archibald's had, just to see her back on the track as well is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. It is, and obviously she'll be very motivated racing at home there as she starts her. As she continues on with her track season.
And that for a lot, for as a team manager and being involved in elite sport, it's that resilience, that rider that can come back, from tough times. Let's take you through your riders that you're going to see in action here at the London 3. So team number 16 in the yellow jerseys, Robin Clay and Frankie Hall. Team number 15 in those black jerseys with the orange dots is Lucy Nelson and Nora Tveit. So the 2023 Norwegian national elimination champion from Norway, Lucy Nelson, with the 6 days of Bremen. Moving on to team 14. It's a British team of Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach. Sophie Lewis, former European under-23 Madison champion. Maddie Leach, 2024 British national team pursuit champion. They are in those light blue jerseys there, wearing number 14. Team number 13, the Irish team, Alice Sharp and Mia Griffin. And the Irish team. The Irish have really, over the last few seasons, they're just growing into a really strong track nation.
Yeah, they've done very well, especially considering that they don't have an indoor velodrome in country of Ireland.
No.
So, I know that a lot of them are based over in Mallorca. They do a lot of training over there.
Yeah,
they certainly have up the end, big time. The Irish.
And they're talking, that there is talk, there's been talk of a long time that they're going to finally get that indoor track. So hopefully that comes to fruition. Team number 12, Marlon Nicole Sigmund and Fabian Jarek is the next team. That is the team of team number 12. So Fabian Jarek, the 21-year-old German, and Marlon Nicole Sigmund, also from Germany. Moving on to team number 11, the team in red, Isabella Escalera from Spain, and we have Sybil Schneider from Switzerland. So a bit of a Spanish-Swiss combo that we've got here. Moving on to team number 10, team in red and white, sponsored by BioRacer Karolina Karasiewicz and Nicole Plosage. So the Polish combo here in the red and whites, both track specialists. So the team from Poland. Moving on to team 9, and if you're just tuning in, you'll see one rider has a red number, one rider has a black number. So a good way of telling your riders apart as well when they're in the rough and tumble of the Madison Chases. Fiona Magendi and it's Colleen Gulick. Magendi, the Canadian, Colleen Gulick, the American. So a Canadian-American duo that we have. Moving on to team number 8. We have an exciting team. Juliette Eickhoff, 22 years old, from the Netherlands, and the World Junior Road and Time Trial Champion from Movistar, Kat Ferguson.
Yeah, one of the most exciting talents in the world of women's cycling, I would think. Kat. She's very, very versatile, and I'll be really interested to see how she goes in this format of racing over the weekend. Yeah,
great track rider as well is Kat Ferguson. Team number 7, we have Amelie Winter-Olsen and Francesca Silva. That is the team here. So the Danish-Italian combo. So you're watching out for them in those Danish jerseys. Moving on to team number 6.
Swiss pairing.
Yeah, Michelle Andres and Aileen Seitz, the Swiss combo. And they're lucky as well. The sort of track scene in Switzerland as well. They've got the track in Aigle as well. The various tracks that they have in Switzerland. Long history in track cycling.
Yeah, they do have a long history of indoor track cycling.
Moving on to team number 5. So we have the Czech pairing of Hanna Rugovac and Veronika Bartonikova.
I see Hannah is here with her newly wedded husband.
Yeah.
Having their honeymoon here at the London 3-Day.
That doesn't come much better than that, does it? It's a great honeymoon, you would say. Moving on to another interesting pairing, team number 4. We've got Miriam Jessett and Ailey Shaw. Ailey Shaw from Scotland, just announcing what season the young Scot has had. She has got the black number here. Ailey Shaw just signing for the UAE development team for next year. Big move for the young Scot.
It will be a big opportunity for her to show her wares next year.
Moving on to team number 3, and what a team. Franziska Brause and Romy Kasper. Franziska Brause, Olympic team pursuit champion. Romy Kasper, one of the most experienced road pros as well. Romy Kasper, so versatile as well. We saw her in the gravel worlds recently as well.
Yeah, she does crisscross across the different disciplines of our sport at a very high level.
Moving on to a team number 2, and what a team, what a combo, and what a Madison pairing as well. We have the team of Katie Archibald and Nia Evans. The crowd getting behind them, and as well, this will help them in knowing each other. They know each other inside out as a Madison pairing.
Yeah, this combination will be one to watch over the next 3 days, and definitely the crowd favourites.
You can hear a little nod. I love this jersey. This is a great jersey because we have our Olympic champions here in Vittoria Guazzini and Chiara Consoni. Consoni announcing that she's off to the Canyon SRAM team, so that announcement made for her, Vittoria Guazzini. 23. Vittoria Guazzini, you look at Guazzini as well as one in her career, and she's still only 23.
Yeah, they're both still young. And it is a brilliant jersey as well because, you know, unlike the Olympics where we have the rainbow jerseys, we don't have a jersey for the Olympic champions. So it's great to have that combination here over the next 3 days and a nice jersey to identify them in as well.
Yeah, you can just kind of sometimes just sneakily just add those little accents at Olympic champion, can't you? We see the gold bikes, the gold glasses, everything. But yeah, to get to ride in a rainbow, in an Olympic ring jersey as well, it's a special moment. We're going to move on to our first women's chase of the night. Remember, these all-important lap gains that the riders are looking for here in the London 3. Everyone about to jump out of their skin. Thanks, Brad. Good to see Bradley Wiggins here, just firing the gun to get things underway. And just like our men's race, this is going to give us the pattern of how everyone's feeling. And for teams that know each other inside out, like Guazzini and Consoni, like Nia Evans and Katie Archibald, they know straight away they'll be straight into looking to try and just gain those early laps.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see also how some of the track specialist pairings go head-to-head with you know, some of the World Tour athletes as well.
Yeah, I mean, Romy Kasper, as we said, is a really interesting. It's really good to see Romy back on the track. As I said, we see her on the road. She's one of the most experienced road riders within the women's peloton. We saw her was really sort of instrumental at the gravel worlds recently as well. Was Romy Kasper. So great to see her back on the track. And then a Danish-Swiss pair, a Danish-Italian pairing that we've got here as well. I'm really interested to see how they go, and they're the first ones to try and just make a first little move, but you can see straight away that Olympic ring jersey is straight on them. Team 11 as well of Escalera and Sybil Schneider trying to get on the move, but quite early on here, just neutralizing that first little move. And just sometimes just settle into those first hand slings as well.
Yeah, we've got a good 10 minutes here before we have our first sprint of the evening. So it will be interesting if the teams are just feeling each other out here, or it does continue on being quite aggressive as it was in the men's first chase.
So our formats of our race here, our first chase that we are seeing in action. So 10 minutes of racing before we see our first sprint, but our Olympic champs just testing things out, giving a little nudge off the front here. Guazzini powering on, you can see the gold accents on the bike.
Yeah. Got a good little gap here. It'll be interesting if they go on with it here. The bunch hasn't totally propped, but it is a nice little gap to start the proceedings.
They've got about a quarter of a lap. Chiara Consoni just settles into her ride. Just has a glance across the track, and this is the sort of when it's early, you've got 3 days of racing, and Chiara's, you can see it's that little tell. When you get that quarter of a lap, you just look across the track and you think, okay, am I going to give it the big guns now? I'm going to try and go for that lap gain. Just you're trying to get a measure, aren't you, of what's the reaction like? Is there a big pull on the front, or can you just hit it and just nudge out that half lap and then see where you go from there?
Yeah, because it's just as much about the intent of the bunch as it is the legs that you've got as well.
Because you can get that half lap and then all of a sudden someone just hits the gas on the front and it comes straight back, and what you don't want, you've got to sort of play the long game a little bit as well, haven't you? We have got a lot of racing ahead of us over the next 3 days.
We have. And also, you know, this is a 40-minute chase, so there's a lot of racing. But the Italians have gone on with it here. They have gone on with it.
It does look like Guazzini now has hit the gas and they've taken half a lap. So half a lap gain for the Olympic champs, and we've got a reaction on the front. We look back to our chasers, Kat Ferguson giving chase. The team in orange come up for that change. So we're starting to see those teams just settle into those pairings. We can see Kat Ferguson giving it a chase, just throwing in the teammate of Julie Eickhoff. Got a T3 pairing, 3 teams just off the front of the bunch. Consoni and Guazzini still holding that gap.
Yeah, our Olympic champions have settled into a good rhythm here. They look like they're going to get across first to take our first lap of the evening, but the other 3 or 4 combinations are still giving a lot of chase from behind.
And at this point, for anyone that's never been in a bunch race on the track, you start to, as you get into that same straight, when you've got a bunch, you start to get that sort of aerodynamic pull off the back of the bunch as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we have got 32 people on the track at the same time here as well. So there's a lot going on. A lot of people swinging up, swinging down.
There's a lot of air moving around this velodrome.
There is, there is. But our Olympic champions have made very good progress here as they reach the same straight as the back of the bunch.
So you're starting to just move your way, and you just get into this point as well, don't you, where you start to move your way through traffic and you're looking ahead and you can see that the bunch is splitting a little bit into groups, and you're trying to calculate in your head, okay, where's the biggest part of the peloton, because you have to just go and go and go and go in this point where it is stretching and splitting like it is, because we've got a group of 3, a group of 1, a group of 4, another 3. It's where they judge is the biggest part of the bunch that you're trying to get onto.
Yeah, and so they've made their first ever here to get to the back of some tail end riders. Then they've got to weave their way around these 3 teams and then make contact with the main part of the group, because that will be classified as taking the lap once they get to the main part of the peloton.
Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach in the gap in second. Then we've got our team 8, Julie Eickhoff, Kat Ferguson, just off the front. Nia Evans and Katie Archibald just trying to bring the gap back just a little bit. Our Irish pairing of Sharp and Griffin also there. Consoni and Guazzini. And as a Madison rider as well, at some point you kind of get in your head, and sometimes when you're out there for ages, you start to just, your mind plays tricks on you as a Madison rider, because you're thinking, what was I thinking?
There's no turning back now.
There isn't. You're fully in. You're fully committed.
There's no turning back. No, but they've locked in well. They've only got maybe 70, 100 metres to get to the back of the main part of the group here. But there is 3 other teams giving chase as well.
There is indeed. So Consoni and Guazzini almost on to the next group. Sharp and Griffin on the front for the Irish pairing. Lewis and Leach are also holding a good advantage. The head of the race, though, is still with our Olympic champions in those gold jerseys with the Olympic rings. There's Maddie Leach and Sophie Lewis. Really experienced Madison riders, as we said. Sophie Lewis, 2023 European Under-23 Madison champion, along with Maddie Leach. So this pairing know each other well. So for sort of international fans, we know Maddie Leach and Sophie Lewis. Sort of domestically, we know them from our sort of domestic crit circuit as well. They're sort of up-and-comers within the national team. But having won that European title as under-23s, this is what we've been sort of talking about. They know each other. They sort of instinctively know where each other are on the track, which is really, really important.
It is. It's a big benefit. They're trying to learn the traits of your partner as we go. Having raced big competitions and won big competitions before with the same partner is a big advantage.
So Guazzini and Consoni still just making their way through the bunches here, Matt. We've got some, it has split a little bit when they've got, we would probably say the biggest part of the bunch is our team that contains the likes of Katie Archibald, Nia Evans, but they're doing the right thing. You just get onto the next group, take a little pause, weave your way through onto the next one.
Which they have. They've had a good little chance to recover on the back of these 3 or 4 teams now. And now they wrap them up and look to push on to make that last little bridge to gain that final lap, because they're not quite there yet. But
and Chiara Consoni on the front now drives to try and make contact, throws in Guazzini. You can see the Olympic champions, all the gold, as you deserve it as an Olympic champion as well, to have all the gold you want on your bikes and kit.
And they pushed on and made contact now, so it's a brilliant move from the Italians. They did it the hard way. It wasn't a quick effort to take that lap, but they've made it.
But they were very measured in how they did it, and that shows the experience, doesn't it? Of okay, we're going to have this, and we've got to play the long one here. We're not going to, because a lot of the time as a Madison rider, if you want to go, you want to hit it, you want to go for that kind of shock and awe, and you want to take that lap as quickly as you can. But they did the thing there, and it good. It rides them into this race as well.
No, they did ride smart, and sometimes the laps are taken quite quick and quite easy. That one wasn't, but they, like you said, they did it the smart way, and they find themselves with a nice little lead now.
Yeah, we go back to the front of the bunch is the head of the race. Say if you want to follow it, is follow our commissaire down on the track at the finish line. Always points to where the front of the bunch is. We're seeing inside 40 laps to go. So we're just counting their laps into our next sprints. So Maddie, we've seen as well out of shot because we've been trying to pick them through the groups. It looks like Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach have also now made contact. So a great lap gain as well for the British pairing.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed. As we count down to our, with our final 37 laps.
And that bunch, and we now see a move off the front by Katie Archibald. Archibald starts to drive that familiar style, and the crowd start to roar. And that's Katie Archibald, just that familiar style, tucks down, digs in that shoulder into the banking. She's looking for Nia Evans, throws Evans in. So the Scottish pairing here, Nia Evans, just showing that power. The back straight now from Nia Evans, driving on. And this, as we said, this is when you're looking at that kind of shock and awe. You want to take that lap as quickly as you can, and that's what they're doing. They've got 3/4 of a lap really quickly.
Yeah, when you look at the difference, the Italians took probably 15 laps to get across, and this British pairing have done it in 3.
And that for that as well, you're thinking power-wise, okay, hit it hard, get on in 3-4 laps if you can, then you can just pick your way through the bunch, recover quickly.
That's a big move there. It's a big move there. They've taken a lap there. We've got 3 other teams in pursuit, which are half a lap behind. But a very powerful move from Archibald.
So that lap gain, Katie Archibald now rides on to the back of the bunch. You just see her making a move over the top. We're looking for those points. The Irish team, the Irish pairing, just off the front. So the head of the race now switches to the team in green. So we've got the team in green that are just crossing the start-finish line. There they are. They go through, and we've got team number 3 of Franziska Brauser and Romy Kasper also off the front. Team number 9, it looks like, as well, as they come round for the sprint. So it's Sharp and Griffin that take the sprint. So points there for the team from Ireland. Majendi and Gulick also take points. So they're starting to get that draw off the back of the bunch. But on the front, and this is for that group that are off the front, the scenario that they've now got is Consoni and Guazzini and Nia Evans and Archibald have just put the hammer down a little bit on the front. They've just taken the foot off the gas a little bit. It might play into the hands now of our trio, who are still marginally off the front. So just to update you on where we are. So Guazzini and Consult, Maddie Leach and Sophie Lewis right with her. Guazzini swings up the track as a look around. So our top 3 teams just off the front. So 2 sprints to go now, Matt. 1 with 10 to go on the double points on the final sprint.
It is, and we're coming around with 3 laps to go till the second last sprint of this first chase. But the bunch has broken up into many groups behind. So these 3 should be clear to take this next sprint. But behind them is only 4 teams chasing, because the bunch has broken up into many groups. So it's a big move, this one.
It is. It's the peloton behind the bunch behind us splintered. It's our top 3 teams you can see on your scoreboard. So the Italian pairing, the Olympic champions of Guazzini, Consoni, then the British teams of Archibald and Evans, Lewis and Leach. 1 lap to go into the next sprint. Katie Archibald launches Nia Evans into the sprint. Chiara Consoni just getting gapped a little bit, so a bit of an acceleration here. Nia Evans wants these maximum points. Consoni driving on as she tries to bring it back. Lewis and Leach getting thrown in. So Nia Evans takes maximum points there. So just updating the scoreboard. So Sharp and Griffin have also been given the lap gain. Majende and Gulick, Brauscher and Casper also a lap ahead. But you can see, Matt, now these points scored. Super important for the Irish team.
No, very important. And our 3 teams have gone on with it. And with 9 laps to go, if they can stay out front here for this last 9 laps and take, or 8 laps now, and take the double points, it will be a big gain.
But they'll look, if you can see now, they'll look to try and gain that lap if they can. 2 kilometres, 8 laps of the track should just be enough to make contact with the group if they can. Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach driving on. Sophie Lewis looking for to throw Maddie Leach into the chase. Looks down, looks around. There's Katie Archibald and Nia Evans. Archibald looking around, they're waiting for they've got 6 laps to go. They are still the front. So Team 2, Team 14 and Team 1. Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach looking really relaxed, really as well. They've really impressed me so far. Looking very in control are the British pairing. As you can see, the experience of Evans and Archibald and Consoni and Guazzini, and then those European under-23 champs from last year. As they are on the back, they're in those just that slightly different, darker shade of blue, without the Union Jacks of Nia Evans and Katie Archibald. So Sharp and Griffin at the top, Majende and Gulick, Archibald and Evans, Brauscher, Casper and Consoni and Guazzini. Lewis and Leach are all on the same lap. Sharp and Griffin with the 8 points, but double points on our final sprint. Don't forget that. So 10, 6, 4 and 2 points on the final sprint here on our first chase of the night. Evans out of the saddle as she starts to make the move now over the top. Nia Evans, this is kind of the trademark move for Nia Evans. 2 to go this time, driving on. She throws Katie Archibald into the chase. And Maddie Leach trying to get on. Throws in Sophie Lewis. Consoni and Guazzini not far away. 1 lap to go now. Big drive for home between the 2 British teams. Sophie Lewis over the top, but Katie Archibald reacts, kicks back. So Katie Archibald and Nia Evans looking for those maximum points. Can Lewis get over the top? Can she get the slingshot? No, she can't. It's maximum points on the final sprint there for Katie Archibald. Perfectly timed move, you would say, there for Nia Evans to set that up the final sprint. But yet again, Matt, superb riding. Maddie Leach and Sophie Lewis, the 2 British pairings, looking good. We come in with the big names, the big favourites that we know, and then those up-and-comers. These are the ones we're starting to get a glimpse of already.
Yeah, they have been very impressive in this first Madison of the night there. And it was very interesting because the bunch was in tatters there towards the end of that chase. And that late attack did mop up the points, but they didn't take the lap. So it's going to be interesting. 3 teams were standouts for me. Obviously the Archibald-Evans combination, Lewis and Leach, and then our Italian Olympic champions were the 3 teams that stood out in the first chase of the evening.
There you have it. There's your finish line shot. Katie Archibald comes through to take that one. Sophie Lewis behind her. And that's a popular one with the home crowd, as you can imagine, here in London. Great move there, though, from Nia Evans to set that one up, and that's what you're looking for as a Madison rider as well. If you can just get that acceleration, launch yourself off the front into that final handling.
It was. It did catch the Olympic champions out a little bit, being 2.5, 3 laps to go. The other British team were onto it, but it certainly, there was a gap there between the 2 British teams and our Italian Olympic champions when that move went.
So our first 2 chases of the night. And we call them the chase. It kind of goes back into the history of the 6 days. Back to the late 19th century when 6-day racing first started. We call it the Madison because it gets its name from Madison Square Gardens in New York City. And there you have it, our winners presented, Katie Archibald and Nia Evans. And as we said, back in the day, back in the late 90s, just 6-day racing was brutal, Matt, when it first started, because they literally would ride for 6 days, and then the Madison was where they first introduced the duos, just to kind of make it slightly easier for them.
Share the workload between the partners. It was a very different event, the original 6 days, and yeah, like I said, an iconic venue, Madison Square Gardens, and who would have thought that you would have seen international track racing at a venue like that.
Maybe one day they'll take it back, you never know. There's our winners, Katie Archibald and Nia Evans. Great combo, great pairing that we have here.
And definitely the fan favourites.
Definitely. I've been in here before at World commentating at World Championships and World Cups, and honestly, the crowd noise is sort of I think 110 decibels. I think we measured at one point one night when they were really giving it. And we're going to go down and hear from Katie and Nia now.
Cheers, guys. Nia, talk me through your thought process as you were headed into that final sprint, or set it up.
I know that we've got a really good spin, and we're weighed with a small group, so I was like, if I put Kate in the front, it's going to take something special to come round her. So yeah, that was the plan, and it worked.
2 weekends in a row, and after your amazing debut, back onto the world stage. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I don't think I'm feeling as confident as Nia about whether our legs can last for 3 days. I wanted to start a bit more modestly, but best foot forward, we'll just see how we last.
Now this dynamic duo is back together. What can we expect from you across the weekend with the positivity, Nia, that you're bringing?
Hopefully more of the same. I think it's a slightly different dynamic from racing we normally train for. You know, we've got Madison Elimination, Darney race. I don't know the last time we went behind a Darney. Many years. So it's going to be really good fun, and hopefully, yeah, I mean, it's a really good field, and it's just, we're looking forward to getting stuck into some fun racing, really.
Enjoy it, guys. Congratulations.
Great to hear from Nia and Katie. And let's take you through your results. So, Katie Archibald, Nia Evans, 15 points at the top of the standings. Sophie Lewis, Maddie Leach with 8. Alishot, Mia Griffin. Then we have Vittoria Guazzini and Chiara Consoni. Majendin, Gullit, Browser and Casper also on the same lap, so that they didn't get that extra lap gain that they were searching for at the end. Seitz and Andres, Nelson and Veit, Escalera and Schneider, Eickhoff and Ferguson in 10th position there. 1 lap down, little points scored. Sigmund and Jarek, Clay and Hall, Shaw and Jesset, Olsen and Selva, Rugavat, Bartonikova and Karasavit and Plosach are top 16. But as, throughout that chase there, Matt, it's those points scored which these teams are going to need as these 3 days go on.
And some of the teams left that chase empty-handed, and some teams made some intelligent moves, picked up some points, took a lap, and you said before, we have 6 teams that have taken a lap, and the other points have been spread quite evenly across the group.
So we're seeing our Dernies getting ready to come on to the track. And Dernie racing, anyone that's tuning in, they will have seen the Dernie out in the Kieran's, maybe in the World Championships or the Olympics. This is something else. Derny racing in this sort of format. Every rider has a Derny. We've both done Derny. This is so much fun. I always loved racing behind a Derny.
And these are the real Dernies as well, which you can definitely hear.
Yes, the engines of the Dernies go, and it's the pairings as well.
Yeah.
So every rider, you can see every rider will sit behind a Derny, and there's a lot of communication that has to go on between you and your Derny driver as well. So before, as a Derny in a Derny race, you get those signals, don't you? Which is usually up and whoa.
Yeah. Well, and a lot about body language as well, because these Dernies are pretty deafening, and having a good Derny rider is also key. You know, all these guys are very experienced. The speeds that they're whizzing around the track here, up to 70 kilometres an hour plus, and it is a very exciting event, the Derny, which we don't see that often actually.
So it's an engine, you can see. You've got you've got a pedal as well. You've got to pedal the Derny. You've got the engine as well. They've got the throttle that they are controlling the Derny with as well. As you can tell, you can see they're very experienced Derny drivers that we have. And we have Peter Bauerlein, the Kaiser, Ron Zilliard, the Bullet, Herman Backer, the Sniper, Eric Schurfs, the Sprinter, Mario Vonhoff, Super Mario, couldn't be anything else. We have Carsten Strassman, the Grizzly Bear, Moreno de Pau, the Peacock. We've got Tim Reed, the Engine. So those are our Derny drivers. So they are up onto the track. So a Derny, so named after the French manufacturer in the 1930s. And they provide the pace and the aerodynamic advantages for the rider that sits right behind them. And when you're following the Derny, when you're in the Derny in a bunch like this, if you lose the wheel of your Derny, if you lose the back of your Derny, if the wind hits you so quickly, even in an indoor velodrome like this, so you've got to stay as close to that Derny as you can.
No, you do. As soon as you lose contact with the Derny, it won't end well. It won't end well, because the speeds that they are ripping around here in, and you've got to go very, very deep in some of these races, because the secret also of the good Derny rider is finding the limit for their athlete, and you're going to see that here in this race coming up.
If you lose your Derny, and the best description, probably the best description, it would, when you lose it even by a few meters, it's like someone turns on a jet engine in front of you and you just go backwards.
Yeah, just lose all the aerodynamic advantages sitting on, coming around with one lap to go before they start the event.
And as well, it's judgment on a track like this. You've got to use what we call the transitions of the track. So every track, in the way it's designed and built, it has a flow, and it's using those transitions of the banking, especially when you're going as quick as you will be behind the Derny.
Yeah, so now, as you can see, the athletes looking for their Derny as quick as possible, getting up to speed as we come around with 40 laps to go.
So our teams that are on the track. So Schgivild, so our Danish colours on the track, on the front. So Anders Finnbo is the rider on the track in the Danish jersey. You can see here he's got the front. And that position, it's a good position to be in, just leading. And you got Will Gilbank behind him. So Will Gilbank in that black and orange jersey, second wheel here. Just making an acceleration over the top. We're starting to see some teams just dicing around a little bit further back.
Yeah, not an easy task coming round 4 or 5 wide when these 30s are doing this sort of speed. I can see the Italians are sitting back there very relaxed, second last team at the moment. They will be making a move at some time in this chase, but it'll be interesting when and where.
Keegan Hornblow moves over the top to New Zealander. You can see Rugovac. So the team's out on the track. Simone Consoni is on the track for our Italian pairing. Oscar Winkler is the man on the track in the green, just making his move over the top. So Will Gilbank, but Keegan Hornblow's made a good gap here. Good advantage for the New Zealander. We'll see if we get a reaction. Consoni just hanging back a touch at the moment. Consoni, Denis Rugovac for the Czech rider. And then just hanging back. Owain Duel just off the back, just keeping an eye on everyone just ahead of him. But when you decide to go in a Derny race like this, you can make up time very quickly.
Yeah, when you're a rider and driver picks up a lot of momentum, you do see teams come from far back with a lot of speed. But it's that fine line between putting the athlete right on the limit or over the limit, and that's a very big skill coming from the Derny rider, and that communication, like you said before, between the athlete and the Derny rider.
And sometimes as a rider, when you think, right, I'm going to go, and when your Derny hits the gas, sometimes you just think, oh, what was I thinking? I should have built into this one. Because sometimes it can feel as well when you go, it's like you're riding through quick drying cement sometimes. Your legs just turn to mush. So making the move over the top, Oscar Winkler moves through. The team in green. Consoni looking a little bit further down the bunch, and Consoni looks like he's just starting to close it up a little bit. He's in the slipstream. Wojciech Skolarski, the Polish rider, just ahead of him. At the front, Oscar Winkler from Denmark just comes through. Keegan Hornblow makes the move over the top. 26 laps to go this time, so still plenty of time here in this Derny race. We're starting to see some of the teams that are moving up in the pack. But when you go as well, when you look at this, you have to go high, you have to go the long way round as well. So at the moment, Winkler's doing a great job here with his driver of just holding the front, dictating the pace. But it's not always as easy you can't react as quickly as you can, say, in a bunch race.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I've certainly noticed a pattern here. We've got a couple of teams that have been jostling for the front, and our Italian combination have just been sitting there, letting these first 5 or 6 Dernies battle it out there. And Consoni does look quite comfortable sitting where he is. There's a big move from the Czechs coming from around the outside now.
Yeah, Rugovac goes over the top. The rider from Czechia in that light blue jersey. Consoni still chilling at the back of the group. You can see the team in blue and white. On the front in green, Oscar Winkler has the front. Here goes Rugovac over the top. You can see, as we were saying, Matt, you have to go the long way round. It can take longer than you think it's going to take to get yourself to the front.
Yeah, it's been a big push here from our Czech combination. A very big push.
Great reaction though from Will Gilbank in the orange and black colours, drops down the track. And you see the Derny just moves out, just using the transitions of the track. Just moves out a little bit in the straights. Keeps that. It's all about smoothness as well. It's keep it as smooth as you can.
Yeah.
We're inside 20 laps to go. Still Will Gilbank on the front.
I can see Consoni etching up slowly around the outside here. The first time I've seen him moving forward in this chase.
Owain Duel's just been hanging off the back. He starts to make a move, but Simone Consoni in the blue and white is starting to make his move over the top. Inside 20 laps to go. Plenty of time for Consoni just to ride back onto Keegan Hornblow just in front of him. Consoni is just gradually winding in that group ahead of him. The man in black, though, starts to make his move over the top. Keegan Hornblow, is he starting to make now a big move? Consoni steadily now making his way back on. A Windle comes over the top of the pack behind the British rider of Team 2. Hornblow still got the front, the experience of Keegan Hornblow. Rugerback on the front. I think Consoni's going to hit this one within that final 10 laps.
Yeah, there's 3 teams that have gone a little bit clear here, but he's just got to pick his moment here, because our black team, number 12, are keeping the pace very high, so it's not possible to come around the other 2 teams at the moment.
A Windle, though, is the rider for me. We can see him just coming into shot now. Windle's the kind of sleeping giant here in this one at the moment. There he is.
Yeah, he definitely seemed very relaxed the first 20 laps. Was content to be last team there, second last team there, but they are actually they're on the prowl as well as they move up past a couple of teams.
12 laps to go, 3 kilometres of the track left, and it's Keegan Hornblow that's got the front here. And following him, Will Gilbank is right with him. A Windle, though, as May is getting up towards Consoni. Consoni is just in front of him. 11 to go. Consoni just reeling in the Czech rider just in front of him. But Keegan Hornblow, I don't think Keegan Hornblow's quite hit the full gas yet. I think he's still got to have something in the tank here.
Yeah, he looks quite comfortable, and there has been a little bit of a separation there between the first 2 teams and the 3rd and 4th.
Come round to the home straight this time. 9 laps to go. It's still Keegan Hornblow that's got the front here for Team 12. Driving on. He's paired with Fabio van der Bos. This is the point now, Matt. 8 laps to go. 2 kilometres to go now. If you want to win this one, you got to go now.
Yeah, and as you speak there, the Czech team is making a big push for the lead, followed by Consoni hot on their heels.
The acceleration evident behind. Keegan Hornblow's got the front. Here comes Simone Consoni. Dennis Rugervac in the light blue colours. The Czech rider is there. Consoni, we know what sort of finish that Consoni's got, and the acceleration is evident from the Italian. We can feel the power of Simone Consoni as they come through with 6 laps to go. Rugervac hits the front here for the Team 5. Consoni, though, up to Keegan Hornblow now.
Oh, it's a big push here. It's a big push from Consoni. I can see the pain on his face as he comes past the finish straight. 1 more team to pass, and they're there.
Up to second now are the Italians. So Simone Consoni makes his move up to Dennis Rugervac, who had the front. So it's a Rugervac, Team 5 from the Italians, and Viviani Consoni, Team 4. Simone Consoni with that red number. Keegan Hornblow is in 3rd, but here comes a Windle. As we said, he's been a bit of the sleeping giant in this one. 3 laps to go. And over the top comes a Windle with a big acceleration, but it's still Rugervac on the front, Consoni on the inside. They've got to watch that they don't get boxed now from a Windle trying to come over the top. They'll look to try and react now with 2 laps to go. A Windle accelerates 2 laps to go, 500 metres. Rugervac reacts on the front. A Windle tucks down, digs in here as he tries to make his move through to the front. 1 last big acceleration is what they need, and a Windle throws it into the final lap. Rugervac on the inside reacts. He still has the edge, but down the back straight now. It's a Windle over the top into the home straight. It's going to be between these 2 teams, and he comes through. A Windle, we called him the sleeping giant. It's a mighty win for a Windle.
Very, very smart riding. Very smart riding. We said the first half of the race, more than content to sit at the back, and timed his run to the line with imperfection.
That, folks, is how you do it. He just sat there all back of the bus for the most of it, and then moved through when he needed, let everyone make the race, and that shows the experience there of a Windle comes through to take that one. That's an important win as well. That'll be a big confidence boost for a Windle, I think.
No, it will be. It will be. It's a great effort. It looked like Consoni there got stuck on the hip a little bit there. He just couldn't get over the top of the Czech rider. And when Windle came over, he came with a lot of speed and enough to get the job done.
And when you see that move, it's when you get boxed in a Derny race as well, isn't it? You don't always have the room. And when we saw them come through, it was just before that. When you see how wide these pairings are on the track, and if someone comes through and doesn't quite give you enough room, you can't react because the Durney can't swing out as well.
Yeah, and the long way round at 70 kilometres an hour is definitely not the easiest way to get the job done.
Exactly. There you go. And there, there's your result. A wine duel takes us from Dennis Rugovac, Simone Consoni, Keegan Hornblow. Great ride, impressive ride from the New Zealander. Set a lot of the pace there. Will Gilbach, Wojciech Skolarski, Anders Finbo, and Oscar Winkler. That is our top 8. Good first Durney race.
It was. It's a great race. We don't see this format of racing very often. The old Durney race. Big win from Owen Doull there as our women get ready to do the same event.
You can see with the team of EF Education Easy Post. That's a popular win for the pairing. And also when you're coming into this format and you're racing again at, as you said, 70 plus kilometers an hour, they're getting paired with Durney drivers that they won't have ridden with before. So you've got to get you've got to gel very quickly.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think some of the combinations would have spoken before the race. Obviously, Owen had a plan there that he was more than happy to sit back and make one big push in the last 10 laps, and it worked well. Whereas other teams, you can see the young Kiwi wanted to push the pace early on. He was very impressive. Just faded a little bit in the last 3 or 4 laps, but they've all got their own ways to attack this Durney. And having a good Durney rider and having that relationship where you get the combination right is crucial.
And you need it's been able to in the Durney races as well as getting that big gear going, and he timed that perfectly. Let's go and hear from our winner.
Owain, talk me through it. You got married last weekend. Please tell me this isn't the honeymoon.
No, we will do another honeymoon. But there's not many opportunities I get in a year to race on the track with the road program, and it's just been back to back to back. So when the opportunity to race here at the London 3-Day came up, I had to have a negotiation with my wife, but she's really supportive and she was really happy. So
I can see her and your little girl in amongst the crowd. What does it mean having her here supporting you?
yeah, it's massive. Also, this is the first time my daughter will have seen me race on the track, and again, I don't get the opportunity very often, so yeah, it's really special.
Now, talk to me about this. You're obviously not on the track very often, so communication between Durney and rider, how's that working?
From my side, no communication.
No, he's a very good rider and he's so much experience. Only following me, and when it's too fast, he call only hold on, bring me home, please, and no, nothing further.
So coming into that final lap, you positioned yourself perfectly. Was that you, or was that you?
First, I look at his face, and it was very fast. And I think he is of course a rider on the road. Because I think one explosion and that's enough. And we were close to the first place. I think I need one lap to finish first, and we try it and we succeed. Top.
Nice to know you still have the legs on the track.
Just about.
Guys, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Great to hear from our winner. A wine duel. Great ride. So team 16 were eliminated. So Robin Clay, Frankie Hall eliminated from the race. So looking around the back of the bunch, the teams that are living dangerously, and you've just got to try and position yourself on the track, haven't you, Matt, to give yourself enough room to try and come through. We get the bell lap this time. It's into sprint laps. We've got team 9 towards the back. They've got to watch themselves. Fiona Majendi Ailey Shaw trying to move over the top in the blue and white. Shaw gets that move, powerful move round the outside. On the inside, Selva and Olsen come through.
Yeah, it looks like our Danish pairing have been eliminated there.
There you have it. So Team 7 eliminated. So you can see within the elimination race.
As you can see, also from the front of the race there, our more experienced pairings or favourites haven't moved out of the top 4 or 5 wheels, because there is a lot going on at the back of the group, and it's not a pace you want to mess with in any elimination race, but let alone an elimination Madison.
1 lap to go into the elimination. Brause and Casper are the team on the front. Archibald and Evans sat second wheel at the back. There's a few teams here that are living dangerously. Hanna Rugovac and Veronika Bartonikova. The Czech team have got to be careful on the inside. The Irish team as well. It looked like the Irish team, it might be. It's Sharp and Griffin that are eliminated. So Team 13 are the team. They just got caught on the line there. You're always just trying to find your way through, and that inside position on the elimination, just dictating the pace, just being able to look around, just react to everyone towards the front. You're then not caught up in that rough and tumble at the back where you can just get caught on the line.
Yeah, and also some of those teams at the back of the group, they've got nowhere to move as well. So they can be passed very, very late as we come into our next elimination.
1 lap to go. Ailey Shaw living dangerously at the back. Aileen Sett and Michelle Andres are also there. Ailey Shaw, big turn over the top from the Scottish rider. Team 6 have got to be careful. She dives down the track to the inside. Shaw just trying to find her way through. Ailey Shaw had a lot of work to do there, and it is Shaw and Jessett that are unfortunately eliminated this time. So Ailey Shaw and Miriam Jessett eliminated this time. A lot of work that she had to do there to try and come over the top.
Yeah, and all in vain. And all in vain as they get eliminated. As the pace continues on, however, with our Olympic champions pushing on, riding very, very good position throughout this first half of the elimination.
It is. They're just dictating that pace on the front, and you just see Vittoria Guazzini and Chiara Consoni just glancing back over the shoulder, just to hit the gas, just a little touch on the pedals, and it just carries you through. But you can see now, just making that move over the top is Michelle Andres. Decides to up the pressure on the front. It's not always a popular move in an elimination when you kind of attack on the front, because everyone looks around and says, "Oi, the race is at the back at the moment."
Yeah, we're looking at two aspects of the race. I mean, who's pushing the pace at the front, and then who's struggling as they come through to an elimination lap.
Rugovac and Bartonikova are the team that are eliminated, but it was a good move from Aileen Seitz and Michelle Andres to get themselves through to the front. They can now start to dictate things on the front. We're going to get a bell this time into the next elimination, and it is Team 6, Aileen Seitz and Michelle Andres, that have the front. Caught on the inside at the moment is our Olympic champions, Guazzini and Consoni, are just trying to find their way through. Nia Evans has got the outside line, just looking towards the back now. Oh, just coming through. It looked like Team 12 to me that got eliminated.
It is our German pair eliminated.
Sigmund and Jarek are eliminated that time. Marla Sigmund and Fabian Jarek are eliminated. There you have it. There you have right on the line. And it's amazing as well that how quickly at the back you feel you're comfortable, and then all of a sudden you're eliminated as well.
Yeah, no, it's a constant evolution here. And actually, our Germans haven't left the group yet.
As I always say, denial. I wasn't eliminated.
As we get another elimination lap coming up.
They've got a team just slightly off the back. You can see here trying to accelerate back onto the group if they can. It doesn't look like they're going to get there, or can they just spring a surprise here? It doesn't look like they can.
No, our Spanish-Swiss combination have been eliminated.
Escalera and Schneider are eliminated. So our Spanish-Swiss combo, as Matt said, have been eliminated. Just got caught just off the back. Too much work to do to try and get back in. I'm impressed though with Aileen Seitz and Francesca Selva, the team in white, who made that move off the front, got themselves sensibly through to the front. They were getting caught in that kind of washing machine at the back and then just punched their way through to the front, and they've really fought and held this position at the front really well.
Yeah, they have, and by them setting the pace there, they've been able to avoid a lot of the traffic behind, that chop and change of speed. It'll be interesting to see how they pay for it in the latter end of this elimination.
Lucy Nelson and Noida Fate are the team in orange and black that are just getting caught towards the back. Eickhoff and Ferguson in the orange. Gonna have to dive down the outs. Inside, Kat Ferguson comes through. Oh, throws the bike at the line. Good fight back there. So it looked like the team of Nelson and Fate that got eliminated. Great instincts there from Kat Ferguson.
Yeah, it was. She looked in trouble there, but a great move, and it's got her team through another few laps.
As we always say, track riders, track cyclists, you have that sort of sixth sense. You know when someone's starting to move up. She just sensed that they were coming up on her hip, looked back, accelerated forward, managed to keep her team in the race. As they come through, it's still our team in white, team number 6, into the elimination. And it is the team in orange, Eickhoff and Ferguson.
Yeah, I noticed before that Kat Ferguson missed the change before, so she's been in for the last 5 laps. So it'll be interesting. She looks like she's paid for it, and I'm not sure if she's eliminated or our team in black has been the one eliminated.
Looks like Magenda and
Yes.
Gulick are eliminated. So Magenda and Gulick are eliminated. Kat Ferguson. Oh, Kat Ferguson's dropping out. She doesn't realise that they're still in. They're still in. They don't want to lose off the back if they can. Ferguson throws in her teammate, so Juliet Eickhoff gets back in as well. You don't want that when you don't know, when you think you're eliminated and you're not.
No, we're down to 6 teams now, as our Dutch-British combination go up and plants himself on the front there next to our Olympic champions.
Oh, good move, Francisca Brauser and Romy Kasper still there. Guazzini and Constoni. You've still got in there as well our Maddie Leach, our British pairing, Archibald and Evans. Eickhoff and Ferguson still there, and it's Eickhoff and Ferguson that are eliminated this time, so they live dangerously for a couple of changes there, but Eickhoff and Ferguson are eliminated. Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach still in there. Vittoria Guazzini and Chiara Consoni, Katie Archibald and Nia Evans, Aileen Seitz and Michelle Andres, Romy Kasper and Francisca Brauser are the teams that are still in there. 1 lap to go into the next sprint. The German team go up the inside. Our Swiss riders in the white are going to have to go the long way round. Kasper and Brauser are going to have to be careful they don't get caught on the inside here, fighting back. Over the top, they're trying to come through. Can they take it right on the line? Ooh, it looked like the Swiss combo, Seitz and Andres, may have made it, or just not on the line. So it's the Swiss pairing that are eliminated. Impressive ride, though, from the pairing of Aileen Seitz and Michelle Andres. They're eliminated. We're down to 4.
Yeah, now it does become more team versus team. You know exactly where the other teams are. There's no surprises anymore when it comes down to 4 teams.
Sophie Lewis, Maddie Leach, Chiara Consoni, Vittoria Guazzini, Romy Kasper, Francisca Brauser, Katie Archibald and Nia Evans into the sprint. Evans, powerful move now over the top. The German combo of Brauser and Kasper have got to be careful on the inside. Lewis is the rider you say. She's just got to be careful that she doesn't get caught on the inside. It's going to be a drag race at the back here between the 2 teams, the Brits and the Germans. And it's Brauser and Kasper that are eliminated. We're down to 3.
Yeah, I think now when you get down to 3 teams, the key is where you do transition, where you do change with your partner, because a big difference between a fresh partner when it comes around to elimination time and someone who's a little bit fatigued.
Maddie Leach gets thrown in here. So Maddie Leach with the red number on the back. Evans throws in Archibald. Guazzini will be looking for Consoni. 1 lap to go, 1 more elimination. Drives for the front here. Vittoria Guazzini, powerful acceleration from the Olympic champion Archibald. Carrying Maddie Leach though up towards the front. So can Leach get over the top here of Katie Archibald, trying to get that slingshot? Has she got the power? throws the bike at the line, and it looks like we're down to the two teams of Maddie Leach and Sophie Lewis eliminated, but impress yet again here in the London 3 this evening. There's your elimination.
And we're going to have a fresh change in the last lap and a half from our British combination. Be interesting what happens when Archibald wants to do this change.
Archibald just forcing the Italian Consoni high. Consoni, the experience of Chiara Consoni, just getting that height, just trying to get that power as they go into 1 lap to go. The Brits are going to change, throws in Nia Evans. Consoni's got the momentum, and Nia Evans throws down the power. Chiara Consoni gritting her teeth. Great time chase there from the Brits into the home straight. It's going to be another win this evening for Nia Evans and Katie Archibald. Guazzini and Consoni second again. As you said, Matt, perfect timings for the change.
No, our British combination there, very tactically astute decision when to change. Kept Consoni high on the fence and made it go the long way round, and it just wasn't able to get over the top of them.
No, we saw as well the tactics when you get into that position. Archibald just trying to hang Consoni high. Just you kind of rubbing your knuckles around the wall at the top of the track.
Yeah, she was trying to keep Consoni that high that she couldn't actually dive underneath her and get in front before the change. So, but it's all like you said before, it's all timing. Knowing the Italians opted for doing the last 3 laps without a change, and our British combination changed a lap and a half out, and I think that was the difference for the win tonight. They certainly got it right.
They certainly did. And what a start to the night. Katie Archibald and Nia Evans take their second win of the night here in the elimination race. And I think when you look at this elimination, Madison elimination, it's great.
It is. I don't know if it'll ever become an Olympic event, but it's one of the most hectic events on the calendar, that's for sure. It's like I said, it's an event we don't see very often. We see the elimination, obviously the Madison, but as a combination, it's a brilliant event.
It's so much fun. I hope you're enjoying it. You're just seeing here at the London 3. Just this is track cycling turned up to 11. It's the best description.
Non-stop action.
And the combo of events, and that the having the pairings in all the time is what's important in the sort of team event that we've got here as well. And it kind of goes back to the roots of 6-day racing.
Yep, keeping someone on the track at all times and really using their racing now in various ways, different events.
So great start to the night for the Brits. And there's some combos in there as well that are impressing. I was impressed with Aileen Seitz and Michelle Andres in there. Maddie Leach, Sophie Lewis, again, really good pairing. So as riders ride into this one as well, we're gonna see over the course of the 3 days. We'll see riders just sort of really finding their legs. And let's go down and hear from Nia Evans and Katie Archibald.
Katie, you said in that first race that you maybe came a bit hot out the blocks. Did it have any impact on this one at all?
You know, you're going to find out when it's too late. That's the issue. It's mind over matter sometimes. I'm letting my heart do a bit of the chasing here, and I should maybe listen to my legs, but it's what it is.
Well, it's going particularly well. Nia, yourself, you've also had quite a difficult season. What's it like coming here and just being able to have a bit of fun on the bike again?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's definitely been a season of ups and downs. I think between us, we could write a book of like misfortunes. So it's so nice to come back to London and just, we used to do kind of 6-day racing revs here, and we both have really good memories, so it's lovely to be back here and just, race. And like you saw, we were competitive. We can't help but race. So no, it's lovely being here and just able to have some fun.
I'm so glad. Ladies, speak to you later in the weekend.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Nia. Great to hear from them. Non-stop racing here at the London 3. Thanks for your company. If you're just joining us this evening, welcome aboard. Martin McDonald and Matt White with you to take you through night one as the crowd grows here in London. We are at the Lee Valley Velo Park, the home of the 2012 London Olympics, site of many a World Cup, World Championships over the years. Great venue. So next up will be our Madison flying lap.
Yeah, the interesting thing with this flying lap, there has to be a change before the last lap is timed, and it'd be interesting to see when the teams think it's the optimal time to change at higher speed, setting up their final rider for the fastest lap possible.
So you'll see we got one rider on the front, building up the pace. They then reach back, they're giving the rider on their wheel their slipstream, and then they'll reach back and then sling the partner in. So it's slightly different in this one. They're just building up that momentum. Here we go. So they get the bell this time. They drop in. Gun fires. And we're just getting the gun is fired. So team 16, Will Turdball and Will Perrett will be the first ones to go. Next up on the track, team 8, just trying to get the crowd going, try and get the crowd behind them. So Vincent Hoppazak and Philip Heinen will be the next team to go. So Tidball and Perrett, 16.4 was their time. 54.875 kilometers an hour was their speed. And you just want to get that crowd going, get the crowd behind you. So Philip Heinen is the first rider to go. He's going to hand over to Vincent Hoppazak. So just building that pace.
Yeah, I've noticed this combination, they're certainly not going as fast 2 laps to go as our previous team. Every team will have their own little tactics to get their second rider up to speed as quick as possible before they come around and approach the timed part of the event, the last lap only.
And also it's that combo, how explosive you want the last effort to be. So big move here, 1 lap to go. So dropping in, bound the back straight. Vincent Hoppazak driving for home. Hoppazak goes through in 13.108, so 68.657 kilometers an hour. Next team up, team 11 are our next team on the track. Lindsay de Wilde, Jules Hester are on the front. So Jules Hester's going to lead off here, hand over to Lindsay de Wilde. So Jules Hester took a bronze medal in this year's European Champs in the elimination race. Lindsay de Wilde, 2024 World Omnium Champion. Lindsay de Wilde, great combo, just building that pace now round the top of the track. You've got to have that communication in this as a duo as well, in terms of timing this to perfection now, Matt. So round the top of the track, you can see you guys are hanging as high as they can. You're using every last millimeter of this track. You want to get as much height, as much momentum. Use the transitions of this beautiful track here in London, and you can see the acceleration now from Lindsay de Wilde into the back straight. They go through into turn 4. They'll see that line ahead of them. 13.108 is the time to beat. They go through. We haven't had the clock stop, so we'll give you an update momentarily on their time. So I think they were slightly out. I think they were quicker than that for me, Matt. I don't think it stopped as they crossed the line.
Yeah, no, I think they were around the fastest time, but I don't think the clock stopped exactly when they went across the finish line there.
Yeah, we'll get an update on that one as soon as we have it. Next up, Team 3. Reece Britton and Frank Longstaff. And it was Reece Britton took a World Championship Team Pursuit silver medal this year. He's been a former British Omnium champion. He's the man on the front with the black number. Frank Longstaff with the red number behind him. Really building that pace now, looking for that hand sling. They're going to throw it in here. Frank Longstaff now, they've got that time to beat. So the De Wilde and Hesters has been updated to 12.865. So good fast lap. That is the time that they've got to beat. Britton and Longstaff come through to the line this time. Frank Longstaff throws the bike at the line, stops the clock.
That again looked like another fast time, Marty. But that'll be close.
Yeah, we'll get an update on that. The clock not stopping for us on that one. As soon as we have an update, it did look like a fast time there from Frank Longstaff. So the time to beat, 12.865 for Lindsay De Wilde and Jules Hester. So they'll get an idea on that one. So 13.057, that puts them into second place with that ride.
Yeah, close one. They're talking small margins here, and it's under 0.2 of a second.
So the teams at the top of the standings, they are the team in red there. That's our first combo, first group to go. So moving swiftly along, we will be in our program. And there is our fastest time from those teams. So Lindsay De Wilde and Jules Hester take that one in 12.865, and we'll have these flying laps across the course of the 3 days.
Yeah, no, we will. And then rank the teams accordingly. See, I'll be interested to see as the 3 days progresses if the lap times get faster.
So a great win for them. So some presentations coming up as well. Our rainbow jerseys in the track centre. Everyone just enjoying the atmosphere here in London this evening. Katie Archibald and Roger Kluger. Looks like we're going to have our lap of champions here onto the track. Our World Champions Parade. So our Champions Parade onto the track. So Roger Kluger, Lindsay De Wilde and Katie Archibald are on the track in their rainbow jerseys.
Yeah, we saw that's the third World Madison Championship for Roger Klug last week in Copenhagen. Coming towards the twilight of his career at the ripe old age of 38. And Katie Archibald, I've lost track of how many World Championships she's won over the years. But she's had an incredible career and still a long career in front of her.
And as we said, you know, coming back from injury, I make it 6 times world champion. I think Katie Archibald. I will double check that, but twice Olympic champion, 6 times world champion. But Roger Kluger for me, and you know, I remember, you know, I've commentated on many a Roger Kluger video. He's one of those track riders as well. He's sort of evergreen. He seems to just get better and better. That sort of wily old fox. That experience is really showing through now for Roger Kluger.
Yeah, and look, he did start his career as a specialist track rider and then ventured onto the road for a good 6 or 7 years. And this last 2 years, he's been back basically specialising on the track again. So wanted to finish his career this year with the Olympics and the World Championships. And I spoke to him today, and I don't know if he knows he wants to continue on next year. Even is open to the idea of returning on the road. So it'll be interesting where he ends up in 2025.
Oh, he can't leave us. Yeah. He's too young to leave us, isn't he? And Lindsay de Wilde, Omnium World Champion this year as well, took that ahead of Simone Consoni and Yara Dorobos in Ballerup.
Yeah, one of Belgium's emerging track stars.
So there are our rainbow jerseys. So Lindsay de Wilde, Roger Kluge and Katie Archibald, our parade of champions here in London. And as well, you got to. It's been a long year for a lot of riders, hasn't it? And it's Olympic year is always difficult, isn't it, in terms of where, how you peak in your World Championships and that kind of things as well.
Yeah, it is, because usually the World Championships has had a couple of different windows over the years with the track, either in that March, April window or the October window. And the Olympics is always a summer event, so it is a tricky year. There's a different level of pressure for any athlete competing for the Olympics. And usually a little bit more time away, a little bit more time with the National Federation, which I usually don't allow for a normal World Championships build-up.
But also when you go into the Olympic year and Olympic racing is so heightened, isn't it, in terms of pressure for riders to lift and elevate yourself again to peak for a World Championship.
It is, and I think the difference is for the track specialists, the Olympics is the pinnacle. The Olympics is definitely the pinnacle, whereas the road riders, or the guys who double up and do the road and the track, the Olympics is huge, there's no doubting that, but also some of the things that they do on the road have nearly just as much as importance.
And you see it back home, as you say, it's the height, because if you're an Olympic champion, especially if you look at different countries that take an Olympic title, and it'll be the time when the non-cycling fans dip into the sport, and isn't it? And you become a household name in your country, in any country, when you take an Olympic title.
Yeah, definitely. No, definitely. And it is, like you said, it's that time where Olympic sports get special attention, and winning an Olympic. Sometimes World Championships are just as hard to win, but you can win if you win an Olympic medal. It's certainly one that people never forget. You'll never forget as an athlete, but also people at home, you'll always be recognised as an Olympic champion. Whereas the World Championships, depending on the country, they're not as well recognised.
Our Dernies are back out on the track. So we have each rider have their Dernie. We've had one Dernie race so far. It's rapidly becoming one of our favourites here so far this evening in the London 3. It's going to be hard to pick what's our favourite, because I'm loving the Madison elimination. It's like trying to pick which one of your kids is your favourite.
You can have multiple.
And the Dernies, if you're seeing Dernie racing for the first time, trust us, it is eye-wateringly quick. When you're out there behind the Dernie, and you have to up. Gears on the track have gone up and up and up, haven't they, over the years? But the gears have gone up now as well.
They've gone up in all the events, so I'd hate to see what some of the gearings these athletes are riding behind the Dernie. They must be huge.
So the Dernie, you can see it's a motorised bike. They're pedalling as well. They also have a throttle. So what happens is you've got that communication between the rider and the Dernie driver. And in terms of how the riders overtake and accelerate, so what you do before, you sit down with the Dernie driver, you work out the communication between the two of you, what the signal to accelerate is, if they're snapping your legs off, because if they start to go too quick when you're not quite ready, it's almost like they're snapping, your legs feel like they're snapping, don't you? So in order to accelerate, they're pedaling and they're also opening that throttle. That's how they overtake each other. But as we saw with the men's Dernie race, you need more laps. You can't accelerate and jump as quickly as you can when you don't, as you do in a normal bunch race.
Definitely. And the other factor there as well, which especially in the first half of the Derny event is which position your Derny has to start with. Because if you're Derny number 6 or 7, you've got to be patient. You've got to be patient. You can't be making big moves early because you'll put yourself in the red and you won't be able to make a move later on in the event.
And we saw it with the wine duel. He was so chilled, wasn't he? He just kicked it back. He was hanging out of the back. You know as a Derny rider as well, you know as a trackie what sort of rider you are. If you've got that late snap, if you leave it late like a wine duel did, or try and build into it, try and attack early on.
Yeah, you've got to time your run as efficiently as possible. Because at times in this event, the riders were spread over nearly half a lap. And so you've got to pick your moments, and then when you do make that move, hopefully your rider's ready to push on. And like we saw before, it's a long way round when someone has you on the hip at 70 kilometres an hour as well. So the front is the place to be, and getting round 3 or 4 Dernies or 3 or 4 wide is not an easy task as well.
So each rider has a Derny, 8 riders on the track. And they will all riders do one Derny race spread over the course of the 3 days here at the London Free. 10 kilometres, 40 laps of the track. It is Team 10. And Karolina Karasiewicz of Poland has got the front one. We got 2 laps to go. I think our commissaire is showing the riders. We've got Alice Sharp, team number 13. It's that second wheel. Then we've got team 4. We've got Miriam Jessett on the track. We've got Hanna Rugovac on the track as well. From team 5, Francesca Selva. From team 7, Fabienne Jarek. From team 12, Nora Fate of team 15. That is the order on the track here. So just getting into the order here, and it is our rider from Poland. Makes the route towards the front. Alice Sharp just gets into her Derny. So the Dernies just come up. You just see as well, they can accelerate over the top. They just knock off the pace. Then you get into that comfortable pace for each other. Yep. And then you just
get into your rhythm, get into your groove, and then they just gradually wind it up, and then the tactics start to play out.
And also that's the conversation you always have with your Derny rider before as well, and think, okay, I just want to give it a little nudge early on, just see how everyone's reacted, see how my legs are, and then if everyone reacts, we kick back and we go from there. So it isn't just eyeballs out behind a motorbike. We still have, there is still tactics. You've still got to really think about this one.
Yeah, very much so, buddy, very much so.
On the front. And the gearing that you choose as a track rider, if you're tuning into track cycling for the first time, you have a big chainring at the front, you have a fixed sprocket in the back. You have to get it right, because if you're under-geared behind a Derny, when that Derny accelerates, you've got absolutely nowhere to go. So as a Derny rider, you up your gear for this one, so that you know when that Derny hits that warp speed, you've still got enough gear to be able to go with it.
Yeah, and obviously, the bigger the gear that you can ride, the faster you will be able to accelerate to. But then on the flip side, the bigger the gear you up to, it hurts a lot more to get up to speed. Or when you do accelerate behind the Derny, it needs to be a little bit more gradual. Whereas a smaller gear can accelerate a bit faster, and everyone has their own strengths.
So coming through to the front, so, Team 7, Francesca Selva, through to the front. Danish jersey has got the front here. Sharp from Ireland, Team 13. Team Pursuit silver medalist this year. Irish National Road Race champion back in 2022. Really, the Irish team, as we said, really building a big future in track cycling. I think if they get that velodrome in Ireland, as the talk has been for many years, it will make a huge difference, as it does to any nation. And it's not just the national team that are able to train on that, as we see Miriam Jessett start to make her way through. It's the grassroots that's important, which is what we have here in London, we have it in Manchester, you have it in Australia as well. It's those kids that come through and grow up on these tracks.
Yeah, and it's giving the kids the skills to train and race in that complex week in, week out. That's the big difference.
And we have it with like the likes of Ailey Shaw and the Scottish riders that have benefited from the Sir Chris Hoy Velodrome up in Scotland as well, because we've seen, Katie Archibald, Nia Evans, the way that they've come, the way they came through the sort of Scottish system and how much that track there has made to them. So it really, it's important for the Irish riders, but it's Miriam Jessett on the front here for Team 4. And she is this year's national champion behind the Derny. And if you're a national champion as well, you come into this with the feeling of sort of mighty power behind you, don't you, when you're the national champ? And she would have won that this summer. Miriam Jessett, and controlling the front here, Miriam.
Yeah, the pace has certainly been on. The pace has certainly been on here. The women's field is a little bit more bunched than the men's. We saw a couple of the men's teams were more than happy to lay right off the back and make a big of a push mid to the second half of the event, whereas the women's teams are a bit grouped up a little bit tighter.
Fabienne Jarek is the rider in second wheel, second place here in the black jersey, wearing with the red 12. Miriam Jessett in the blue and white with the red number, team number 4. So they could do the win on the board. A little bit further down the group is our Czech rider on the back, but it is the British Derny champion that has the front here. 24 laps to go, so really controlling this well. You can see the size of the chainring that Miriam Jessett is riding here, just rolling that gear, just looks super comfortable behind that Derny.
Yeah, she does. No, she's well in control.
Derny drivers, if you weren't with us earlier on, we'll give them a shout out again. So we've got Peter Bauerlein, the Kaiser, Ron Zilliard, the Bullets, Herman Backer, the Sniper, Eric Schoffs, the Sprinter, Super Mario himself, Mario Bonhoff, Karsten Strassman, the Grizzly Bear, Marina de Pau, the Peacock, and Tim Reed, the Engine. Those are our Derny drivers. Got to give them a shout out. They're as important in this as the riders. You can't have a Derny race without the Derny drivers, and Alice Sharp makes a big move over the top to the Irish rider. We're 3 wide now, Matt, on the track.
Yeah, and you can see at this speed it's very hard to pass on the outside. All 3 of them are going for it here, but I don't know how long this is going to last, them drag racing each other 3 wide.
And Alice Sharp's just had to kick back there a little bit. The chat that goes on between rider and driver, you know, if you're not going to go over the top, because you don't want to stay out there that high up the track for 10 laps.
No, it'll hurt. It really will hurt you. And as you said, that they've slotted back into formation, but the pace is definitely on. But all back in the slipstream now.
Sensible ride in there from Alice Sharp, just drops back into 3rd place here, but we saw the Irish rider start to make a move. We know that she'll have another one. She's just got to pick her moment now, haven't you? At this point, is have a look, get that feel. You do know on the track, you can sense when the rider in front of you maybe starts to lose a wheel of the Derny a little bit. Maybe you can see now the acceleration at the front from Miriam Jessett opens that gap a little bit, but also for Sharp, it's giving yourself that run, isn't it, into the gap as well, to give you enough room to be able to sort of make the move. You want to sort of spring that surprise a little bit.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be stuck on the hip again. So you have got to time you've got to time your push well, because it does hurt. But I'm very surprised that the pace has really been on from our British Derny champions. There hasn't been a let up. Actually, a little bit of separation for the first 2 teams and the 3rd and 4th team.
Yeah, great move. Miriam Jessett dragging the pair of the rider Fabienne Jarek, the German rider, clears of that gap. Bit of daylight between the 2 of them, and Miriam Jessett looking super comfortable still at the front. She's had a really successful season. Took the Dublin Omnium over in Dublin on the outdoor track in Ireland. 13 laps to go, and it's still our British national Derny champion who's got the front of the race. I've got to say though, Fabienne Jarek looks really comfortable, the German rider in 2nd wheel.
Yeah, they do. But just with this constant pace, it's going to be really hard for teams any further back than 3rd to make contact, because they have not let up. And this last 11, 12 laps will fly past.
Will indeed. You've got it. You're going to make that move. It's got to be like you've been fired out of a cannon. And here they go. Hannah Rugovac comes over the top. So Rugovac, she's been national. She had some medals in national championships, and she's the rider in the light blue that starts to drag everything back together. Karolina Karasiewicz, the Polish rider in the red and white colours, is in the gap, is making that momentum up towards the front. They're going to come round this time and see 9 laps to go. Jesset just looks like she just wants to keep this pace super high here at the moment. The question is going to be in this final 2 kilometres, if she's got that little bit extra, if you've got that final acceleration, or whether she's just been holding that top end speed the whole time.
Yeah, these first 2 teams look very comfortable. Like I said, the next big question is, have they got another gear to go up in this last 1.5 to 2 minutes? Because if they have, I don't see anyone getting over the top of them.
I like the lines, though, that Jesset and her driver are holding on the track. It's a really physical line. You can see the way they're holding it. She's making it super difficult for anyone to kind of find that way round. They're going to have to put themselves right out, because every metre you go up this track is extra distance.
Yeah, it is. As you can see, a little bit of a push here from behind from our Polish rider.
Karasiewicz comes over the top. Has she got the momentum to carry it all the way through to the front? We'll see her losing. She's got to be careful. Just see her losing a little bit off the back of the Durney. 5 laps to go this time. It's still Jesset on the front. Karasiewicz, though, moving up. She's revving really high. You can see the difference in the gearing behind Jesset on the inside, and Karasiewicz that's coming over the top here, but makes it through, gets through to the front mat, and this is where she'll be able to start to drop down. If Jesset's got anything left, now she has to start to react.
Yeah, she made it over the top quite clearly, and looks like she's extending a lead, so that's a brilliant move coming around with 3 laps to go. Has anyone else got the speed from behind to bridge the gap?
Karolina Karasiewicz here's got the front. Jesset still holding that inside position. Has she got anything that she can react to try and make it back up? It is Fabian Jarek that's still there. Anna Rugovac has also tried to make a move, but no one getting close here with 2 laps to go. Looking comfortable at the front, though, is Karolina Karasiewicz. Some UCI wins last year. Jarek trying to come up on the outside of Miriam Jesset. 1 lap to go. Has anyone got a final lap acceleration? It is our German rider Fabian Jarek. He's trying to make a late push, but Miriam Jesset on the inside, the British champ, just trying to hold that inside position. Jarek trying to come through on the outside, but it's going to be Karolina Karasiewicz that takes the win. Team 10 take the win there. Perfectly timed move.
Yeah, it was an impressive surge that no one could react to.
And we saw just the difference in tactics there. Bold move from Miriam Jesset just to try and dictate everything on the front. But as we thought, as it came into that final couple of kilometres, didn't have that extra gear, didn't have that acceleration when Karasiewicz came over the top.
No, she'd shown her cards, really pushed the pace and controlled the vast majority of the race. But that big surge from our Polish rider was just too strong, and netted a great win.
Great win there for Team 10, making the move over the top. So she will come round this time, and we will present our winner. Just taking that moment to recover. So Team 10, the BioRacer team here. And it is astounding, isn't it, when you look at a track rider and just see how quickly someone recovers after an effort like that.
Yeah. No, she's been on the limit for 15 minutes. She 2 minutes later, she looks like she's hardly raced.
So Karolina Karasiewicz takes it from Fabian Jarek. Miriam Jesset takes third. Hannah Rugovac, Francesca Silva, Alice Sharp, and Nora Fate is our order. Great Durney race there from Karolina Karasiewicz. Team 10, she's looking for her Durney driver. I think maybe our Derny driver doesn't want the limelight. He wants to be an enigma.
He's gone for a lie down. Wasn't quite as hard for the Derny rider, but a big effort likewise.
So lots of Derny racing to come this weekend here at the London 3. If you're just joining us for the first time this evening, welcome aboard. It is the birth of a new era here in London with the London 3, taking the 6-day format, compacting it down into 3 superb days of racing. 4 years in the making, this event, as the biggest names in track cycling come back here to the iconic Lee Valley Velopark, where we played host to the 2012 London Olympics. And we've already had some phenomenal racing.
We just got the men's team here warming up before we start another chase.
It's the men's team elimination next up on the track.
As we saw with the women's, it's a hectic one. You got two key points there. What's happening at the front of the race, and then more importantly, what's happening at the back of the group for who gets eliminated every few laps.
Carolina,
Keep
in
an eye
December
on
2023,
the
you
front
suffered a
and the
major
back.
injury, broken ribs, broken collarbone, and just about a year later, you're on the track and you're winning the Derny race.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Yeah, I'm really happy that I'm here because England is the place where the spectators are amazing. The crowd all the time is screaming, so the atmosphere is really good. For me, it's like dream come true. Like you said, after this injury, it was hard to come back to racing on the track, but now, yeah, I'm really happy.
You're amazing out there. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So next up is our team elimination. So you're keeping an eye on the back. So if you weren't with us for our women's elimination, sprint every 3 laps. One pairing is eliminated. The last team across the line. So tactics here. Do you dictate the pace on the front? The gun fires. We are off and racing. It's the team 1 of Roger Kluger, Teo Reinhardt that take that inside position. So your tactic, do you set the pace and dictate things on the front as Simone Consoni moves through on the outside, or do you live dangerously at the back?
Some teams may not have a choice, but the more experienced teams definitely like to stay out of trouble. And I think right in that first 3 to 5 teams is probably the safest place to be.
Also in track cycling, we call this the devil takes the hindmost. So do you dance with the devil at the back, or do you dictate the pace on the front? We're down to our first sprint for the elimination. So we'll see who is eliminated. It is team 13. They are the first team eliminated. Oscar Winkler and Kian Keogh, our Danish-Irish combo. Havoc and Wiggins dictating the pace on the front. Ben Wiggins and Yuri Havoc. Reinhardt and Kluger towards the front. Just getting a little move through on the inside. Our team in the light blue, Charlie Tanfield coming through. Wearing number 14, Tanfield and 12s. So just keeping that front, keeping the pace on the front. You don't want to attack in an elimination race.
No,
it's generally frowned upon. Would be a polite way to put it. They're just going to settle in on the pace on the front. So Rugovac and Vonch are eliminated. So team number 5 are eliminated. Dennis Rugovac and Jan Vons, they are eliminated. So here in the elimination, an eye on your teammate. You've got to do those hand slings. You've got to keep an eye on where you are in the bunch. You don't want to get eliminated early on. Into elimination lap. And it's our Danish pairing that are living dangerously at the back. Team 6, Imhoff and Parrish just ahead of them. Can they get that run? It's Team 3 that have got to be careful here, Matt, on the inside.
Ooh, I think the Danes. Oh. The Danes have missed out.
Team number 3. So
No.
Britton and Longstaff. It was Team 3 that were dicing and dancing with the devil at the back. They're the team that get eliminated this time, Reese Britton.
That's a close one.
So the Brits are eliminated. Keep an eye on the back. We're going into elimination lap this time.
Again, the Danish team is going to be interesting move here. They either go up or down.
It's the long way round, but it gives you a little bit more space when you go the long way round, but they're getting forced up by Imhoff and Parrish here. Imhoff forces them high.
No, they get caught out this time.
Yeah, the Danes. You just saw when Imhoff just swung up there, it's just those extra meters.
Yeah.
Just a little bit too much for him on that occasion. And it's all about timing, that you know, if you can time those changes as well in this elimination race. Kluger and Reinhardt thrown in for their change. Team 12 on the front have looked good throughout this one. Van den Bos and Keegan Hornblow into the elimination lap this time. So you've got Team 6, Imhoff and Parrish looking, living dangerously at the back. Hopper, Zach and Heinen in the orange. A wide duel. Tanfield and 12s, is it going to be eliminated this time? It looked like Team 14 to me. It is Charlie Tanfield and Callum 12s are eliminated. It goes by in a flash though, Matt, this, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. One minute you're in good position, and the next minute you're fighting it out just for survival.
It's it. You cannot lose concentration in an elimination race at all. You can be at the front one moment, at the back the next, as everyone swarms over the top into the elimination, and it's Simone Consoni that's holding that inside line. The black jerseys coming over the top of Van den Bos. Team 10 moving up. Skolarski and Van Schip. Watch the back. And it looked like Alex Dowsett. It is Dowsett and Duel. Alex Dowsett, he had a look back to see if he was halfway down the bunch there, didn't he?
Yeah, hoping to look over his shoulder and see one or two teams behind him. They just weren't there.
It is. It's that moment you're looking back and say, there's got to be 20 riders still behind me. And that's it as well. You've got to be so aware of how many teams you're down to in these sprints. You've got to be looking around this bunch constantly.
Yeah, which makes it trickier with the amount of traffic on the track with all the changes going ahead.
Yeah, because with all the pairings, it can look like there's still more riders in than you actually think.
Exactly.
Elimination lap this time. It's the team in black and orange, Ambrose, Parrish and Gilbank, but he dives up the inside. Nice move up the inside. Is it Team 8 that look like they're going to be eliminated? Hoppezak and Heinen. It is.
Yep.
Team 8 are out.
That's not the first time I've seen our young British combination dive underneath to save the day. They've ridden quite well, and they're in a nice little position, sitting second wheel now on the bottom of the track.
Yeah, the black jersey with the big orange spots just squeezing their way through there on the inside. Imhoff and Parrish are the team in white on the back. They time that handling nicely as they come into sprint lap. Ben Wiggins and Yuri Havoc do the same. Team 11 have got to be careful. The team in white though on the back, can they get a run now? Claudio Imhoff coming through on the inside, tries to get that move. The team in black and orange though, Parrish and Gilbank. It's Imhoff that are eliminated. Claudio Imhoff and Campbell Parrish, so the Swiss-Canadian duo are eliminated. So this bunch getting smaller. The interesting thing here, though, for me, Matt, is the way Kluger and Reinhardt are dictating and holding that front position.
Yeah. No, they're more than happy with a really constant high speed. And then, when you see them slip back to third or fourth wheel, that's as far as they go back, then they edge their way back up to the front again.
And you can see here as Elia Viviani made his move over the top, and now if we look at where Kluger and Reinhardt are, so quickly they've been shuffled back, and this is where it's dangerous for them. Moves up, Oh, it looks like it could be the British duo. Oh, Havoc and Wiggins.
That's a big blow because they're actually doing very well in the points up until now.
So they've been, we've been impressed with them so far. James Ambrose Parrish and Will Gilbank. So still in there. Will Tidball, Will Perrett in those bright yellow colours. Lindsay DeVilder and Jules Hester in the red. Into elimination lap. Kluger and Reinhardt throw themselves in. Tidball and Perrett in those yellow jerseys. Consoni and Viviani towards the back. Still Ambrose Parrish and Gilbank are there. Can they find something to move up one more time? They can't. It is the team in black and orange that are eliminated this time. So James Ambrose Parrish and Will Gilbank are eliminated. At the front, Wojciech Skolarski, Jan Willem van Schip, Lindsay DeVilder, Jules Hester, Roger Kluger and Theo Reinhardt still in there. Team number 16 in the yellow jerseys, Will Tidball and Will Perrett, Elia Viviani and Simone Consoni as they come into sprint lap. The Italians get some momentum. Consoni trying to get the run now. Goes over the top, acceleration from Simone Consoni, but he's got some work to do here as Lindsay DeVilder moves up on the outside. Has Simone Consoni left it a little bit late? It looks like he has. The bunch spread up the track, and it is the Italians, Matt, that are eliminated. That's a shock.
Yeah, it is. That's a big surprise. He had just too much to do with 200 metres to go and made contact, but just wasn't able to get over the top.
And also the way the bunch just spread out in one long line, it was just impossible for him to find a way through.
It is at that speed. It is at that speed.
Kluger and Reinhardt on the front. Lindsay DeVilder, Jules Hester in the reds. Team 12, Fabio van den Bos and Keegan Hornblow are in the yellow. Tidball and Perrett putting in a great ride in the yellow jerseys.
They are. They definitely are. I think our German combination looks very, very comfortable there in second wheel. But now we're getting down to the business end of this elimination with 4 teams left.
We are. Skolarski and Van Schip are the team that are eliminated. 4 teams left now on the track. Fabio van den Bos and Keegan Hornblow, the team in black with number 12. Those European champions jerseys, the white jerseys with the blue stripes and the yellow stars, and the yellow jerseys of Will Tidball and Will Perrett. Those red jerseys, Hester and DeVilder get thrown in. Van den Bos through to the front. Late change here for Tidball and Perrett, but nicely done. Reinhardt fighting it out here. Oh, it looked like it might be Reinhardt. We'll get an update. It is Kluger and Reinhardt, man. So the Euro jersey, let's have a replay of that. You can see Team 11 of Lindsay DeVilder and Jules Hester coming over the top. It was tight, but they are eliminated. We're down to 3. Keegan Hornblow on the front. The New Zealand Belgian duo. Tidball and Perrett, the yellow jerseys, they get thrown in. DeVilder and Hester's in the red. Remember, we go down to 2 teams. Sprint for the line. Hornblow comes through. Fight there by Will Perrett. Nicely done by Will Perrett. We are down to 2. It is Team 12 in the black. And Team 16 in the yellow. Van den Bos and Hornblow, Tidball and Perrett. This should be a good duo. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, the yellow team here have got a chance for a change before the final lap, where the black team are already at full speed already.
Here we go into the final change as Will Perrett's going to throw Will Tidball in, but will it be too much of a gap now? You see the Belgian accelerating at the front. He's timed that to absolute perfection, as Matt White said. He knew he had 2, the Brits had a change left, but you can see now, just starting to tie up, it might come down to the line. What a finish. Boom, you would say there from Will Tidball. Came through there, Matt, like a rocket ship.
He was. I would not have given him a chance. 100 metres to go. But he's confident, the hands are up. I haven't seen the photo finish, but usually riders know. And our yellow teamers looks like they've got away with that at the last moment.
And also, it's what we've been saying all night. It's that timing of that final handling, and you can see here.
But look at the amount of time. Look at the amount of the gap he has made up in the last 50 metres.
And there you have it. And as well, we talk all the time. We talk about it on the road a lot in terms of the throw to the line, throwing your bike at the line, but doing it on a track bike on a fixed gear as well is easier said than done.
It is. It's not for everyone. But no, timing is why the reason they won that one. I said they've come from very, very far back. They had the fresh rider come in, but he was 10 bike lengths he had to make up in that last 100 metres, and he got the job done.
He did, nicely done there. They come through to take that one.
An impressive win from our British pairing.
Popular win there for Will Tidball and Will Perrett, two talented track riders. So Will Perrett, former British National Madison champion, he takes it with his teammate Will Tidball. Van den Bos and Hornblow take second to Vilde Hesters. Kluger Reinhardt is our top four. Skolarski, Van Schip, Viviani, Consoni perhaps eliminated earlier than we thought they might be. Ambrose, Parrish, Gilbank, Havoc and Wiggins, Imhoff and Parrish, and Hopperzak and Heinen. Our top 10 there, that is our men's team elimination results.
Yeah, boy, the big surprise in the elimination there was the early exit from our Italian combination and also our German combination as well.
So Dual Dowsett, Stanfield, O'Twell, Skivell and Fimbo down there for our top 10. And Will Tidball and Will Perrett. Let's hear from our winners now.
I don't know. I've done that a couple of times here now, so no, it's good fun.
What does it mean to you in particular, having the year you've had, missing out on the Olympics, the World Championships, to be back on track and pulling off performances like you used to?
No, yeah, it's good to know there's life in the old dog yet. And no, it's good to be back racing. You know, it's what I love to do. So yeah, thanks for London to put this on.
We all know where this race is lost. You don't want to be left last at the end. But at what point is this race won, do you think?
Well, I'd say every sprint is a difficult one because it's so easy to get caught out or get boxed in, especially with changes going on. And at the end there, we wanted Will in last because he's quicker than I am. But I left him a lot to do up against Fabio. It was a good tack by him. He sort of caught me napping a bit, and then, yeah, but Will pulled back the gap, so it was a nice win.
I just said cheers, mate. Thanks for that.
Great job, guys. Good stuff.
Thanks, guys. One of the most impressive finishes I've seen in a while. That was just beautifully done there at the finish.
It was.
And when we say the throw to the line, because on the road bike you can freewheel, but you're absolutely eyeballs out. You're spinning that fixed gear because I'll admit, as a trackie, we've all done it. When you go to throw your bike at the line and you momentarily stop pedaling and you get kicked up in the air like you're trying to ride a horse at a rodeo.
It is. It's a very different type of throw, that's for sure. It's a very different type of throw.
And again, it's something that you kind of grow. When you grow up on the track, it's something that you learn, you know, to be able to keep those legs spinning. You almost kind of disconnect them in a way and let the legs spin and you.
And just put that momentum at the last minute forward.
The women are back out on the track for their next event. So great first night of racing that we've got here in the London 3-day. Martin McDonald and Matt White with you this evening. Hope you're enjoying the race coverage. There's our Olympic champs. Gives you a close-up there of their fabulous jerseys. You can see gold jersey with the Olympic rings. I think they're going to be taking them home. They're going to be going on the wall. I think that's a wall jersey, that one, isn't it?
A collector's item, definitely.
And a great pairing. Chiara Consoni, Vittoria Guazzini.
No,
great seasons they've had on the road as well.
They've definitely had brilliant seasons on the road, and obviously to cap that off with Olympic gold in summer, and still continuing their season into the middle of October.
The progress over the last decade of the Italian track squad, though, has been something else as well. The amount of investment that they've put in both the men's and the women's side. But you can see how the likes of Chiara Consoni, Elisa Balsamo, Vittoria Guazzini, these sort of riders, Elia Viviani and Simone Consoni that we've got here, the way they jump backwards and forwards between the track and the road, that's what's impressive for me as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's 15 years ago there wasn't too much of an Italian track program, but the last 10 years especially, they've got some great talents, and again, being able to nurture that talent at home with the indoor velodrome that they use. Monte Chiari. Yeah. When you have a central hub like that, and they've got some great coaching, and just a lot more emphasis in the track cycling, where that emphasis wasn't there 15 years ago.
For me, the Italian team, though, the most impressive thing is the choir that they have whenever they win, because the way they sing the national anthem, they are the best choir at any big event of the pride and the elevation and just the fabulous way that they sing it.
And also, you can tell from the outside that they're a very tight group as well, very close-knit group on the track.
It is our women's team elimination on the track. So next up, another Madison, another chase that we have on the track. So next up, another Madison chase. So it's not a team elimination. My apologies for that. This is another chase that we are on the track. And it's Miriam Jessett making a move off the front.
It'll be interesting to see how this one goes, because I think a little bit of fatigue will be starting setting into a few of the teams here. It's been a busy night of racing, and this is obviously a sustained chase. This one, it'll be interesting to see how teams do back up.
And that's the thing, after each race, you're kind of going into the track centre, each rider's got a cabin, you try and get a bit of a leg rub, you've got to try and get maybe some energy into the system as well. You've got to manage that.
Yeah, over the 4 hours, multiple short, intense events, and some people thrive off them, and actually some people do obviously get fatigued.
Hayley Shaw is the rider that's off the front. So the British combo, Shaw and Jessett, move off the front. They've got about to have a quarter of a lap lead here at the moment. So Team 8, Juliet Eickhoff and Kat Ferguson. That next team. So they just need to get a little bit more speed coming into the changes for me at the moment. If you kind of want to really ride into your teammate, you can see that they're coming into the change just a little bit slow, and you're trying to really hold that pace into that change, which is going to keep that momentum of the attack.
Yeah, because otherwise it is a big effort for your partner to bring it back up to speed again.
Ferguson on the front. You can see those movie star shorts. Junior World Road and Time Trial champion, but went straight onto the road at pro level, started winning. One of the most exciting young riders in the world. We've seen her in cyclocross, we see her on the road. She's also a super talented track rider as well.
Yeah, at the ripe old age of 18 or 19.
And this is it, you know, anyone watching, any youngsters coming through, this is what's so important, is ride everything, isn't it? Whether it's growing up, BMX is a great start, you know, mountain biking, cyclocross, if you're lucky enough to live near a track, get on the track, ride the road. It's so important, you know, it gives you, you know, every single discipline of cycling gives you something else, doesn't it, in your box of tricks as you go through your career.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the younger you do experience that, the better, because they are different skills, riding the road, riding the track, or cyclocross, or BMX. And I think myself growing up in Australia, for us the track season was a winter, summer for us. So we rode bikes 12 months a year. We do the road in the winter because, yeah, obviously in Australia we have a pretty mild winter down there, and we rode track during the summer, and it was very, very important for us to develop our skills growing up on the track.
So on our chase, head of the race is with the bunch, with the Olympic champs on the front. Watch out though for our British duo, who have been impressive throughout the evening, of Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach. Have looked great throughout this race this evening. As you said, last year's European Under-23 Madison champs, so comfortable as a pair. Ferguson and Eickhoff are just settling into the changes. Team 8, you can see Kat and Juliet are really sort of starting to find their sort of feet as a pairing here.
Yeah, look, I noticed in the first chase of the evening they rode it very well, but didn't actually benefit as much from it as they probably would have deserved or liked, actually. But they like I said, they're getting to feel each other out there. It's probably the first time they've ridden together, and they certainly got the goods to put in a good performance.
It's our Irish team, Alice Sharp and Mia Griffin in the green. They've just got the front of the race. Eickhoff and Ferguson behind them. Lewis and Jessup are not far away. Maddie Leach. So, waiting for the countdown into the first sprint. We've got about 5 or 6 riders just off the front of the bunch. And Consoni starts to make the move off the front. Chiara Consoni. Reaction from Francisco Brausa and Romy Kasper, the German team. Sharp and Griffin in the green. The Italian duo, the Olympic champions, start to just edge clear here at the front.
Yeah, it's definitely a big push from our Olympic champions here. But there has been a big reaction from behind.
The bunch is splitting. Chiara Consoni and Vittoria Guazzini go into the change. Guazzini just folds those hands over the handlebars. Just Sophie Lewis giving chase. Sophie Lewis just trying to close that gap down to Vittoria Guazzini, who's just glancing across the track, just trying to see that bunch just ahead of her. Maddie Leach gets thrown in by Sophie Lewis, but it's about quarter of a lap here for the Olympic champions.
Yeah, and what I can see behind as well is we've got 5 teams that have gone clear, but the other 11 teams are looking quite fatigued. So there's a big race on at the front with our Olympic champions, 4 teams giving chase, and the Italians are coming around into nearly the same straight as our last 3 or 4 teams.
They are indeed. They're looking for that lap gain here the Italian duo of Chiara Consoni and Vittoria Guazzini. Consoni, stage winner, Giro d'Italia, Dwars de Vlaanderen on the road. Great road sprinter heading off to Canyon SRAM next year. Guazzini, the FDJ Suez rider, great time trialist. But Lewis and Leach are making contact here. They're really great chase from the British duo.
No, they have, because behind they've actually propped a little bit. So they've made contact now with the main, what's left of the main group, and nearly half a lap on catching the others as well. So we're coming around with 8 laps to go for our first sprint, or 7 laps to go. And they have made contact now straight to the front of the group. And they're certainly showing their dominance here, these two teams.
They are indeed. The experience of Guazzini and Consoni and Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach. It's Maddie Leach that's in there, the British rider. She had a national team pursuit title this year. She had winning a Geneva 4-day as well in her career. So one of the real rising stars of the British track scene. Great road criterium rider as well, Maddie Leach. You can see the reaction just at the front. So just to update you on your scoreboard. So Vittoria Guazzini and Chiara Consoni and Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach 1 lap ahead of Browser and Casper, Shaw and Jesset, Seitz and Andres, Eickhoff and Ferguson. Then you go down through the group, 2 laps down for the next group. So on the front, Lewis, Sophie Lewis, just has a glance back over the shoulder.
We've got 5 teams stuck in the middle here that haven't quite made it in contact to gain their extra lap.
I'll just give you a little update as well. This is, we just had it because you will have noticed that Katie Archibald and Nia Evans aren't on the track, and we're just getting a little update. Katie's left the venue after a small crash off the track. Just a precautionary measure. They've just taken her over to check her out. So with that, team's withdrawn from the rest of the day. We'll give you more updates tomorrow, of course. That's all the news that we can give you. No more than that. So hope Katie's okay. Sending loads of love, and hopefully it's just that precautionary check, and they will be back. Hopefully,
see you back here tomorrow night.
Check back tomorrow night for that. So that's your update on why they're not here. We go into our next group. So we're looking for teams to try and get clear if they can. So looking for points, looking for those sprints. Team 5, Rugovac and Bartonikova. So Hannah Rugovac on the front, Veronika Bartonikova, medalist in the Czech Championships in the past. Sophie Lewis through to the front. So they've just got to keep an eye here on Consoni and Guazzini. So you can see 5 points there on Seitz and Andres. Clayton Hall take 3, Sharp and Griffin take 2, Eickhoff and Ferguson taking the 1 point. And we can see straight away, Matt, how important these points are for those teams that are maybe not able at the moment to take those laps. Those points scored are so important as this 3 days goes on.
Yeah, definitely. It's certainly it's a bigger effort to take a lap there, and if you haven't got the strength to take a lap there, then use your strengths wisely, and line up for these sprints, and they will add up, taking these crucial points over the next 3 days.
Leach having a look across, just keeping an eye on those gold jerseys. Seitz and Andres just riding into this one, and this is the point in the night as well, Matt. Is this where as well you start to feel that endurance as well? This is where endurance really comes into play when you've had multiple chases, multiple events in an evening.
Yeah, no, you're right there. None of the events are really long, but they're very intense. And like I said, the class really does come out in some of these combinations, and you can see our Olympic champions now just bossing the pace there, riding where they want, and just keeping everyone under control.
Let's update you there. So we had some teams gaining the lap. So Seitz and Andres, Clay and Hall, Sharp and Griffin, Eichhoff and Ferguson, Guazzini, Consoni, Browser and Casper, and Lewis and Leach are all on the same lap. But it means that Seitz and Andres just leapfrog everyone to the top of the standings with their points scored. As we said, watching these sprints, scoring those points, just clocking them up on the board, super important. Clay and Hall take the 3. Griffin and Sharp got those 2 points, and Eichhoff and Ferguson with those 1 point. So we expect on the next sprint, we got 40 laps to go. The next sprint, this is where the likes of Maddie Leach and Sophie Lewis and Vittoria Guazzini and Chiara Consoni, this is where they've now got to start just nudging their points tally up.
Yeah, definitely. And if you've got legs, now is the time to push, because there's 4 more sprints and some big points available, including the double point last sprint of the evening. And on cue, our Olympic champions push the pace.
Just coming through to the front, the notable acceleration now on the front from Vittoria Guazzini, really putting the pressure on. Can she go solo? Maddie Leach, third wheel here. It is the white jerseys of Aileen Seitz and Michelle Andres that are also going clear. So we have a trio of leaders. It's the gold jerseys with the Olympic rings of Vittoria Guazzini and Chiara Consoni, the white jerseys of Aileen Seitz and Michelle Andres, and those light blue jerseys of Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach. Maddie Leach with the red number on her back. The Swiss pairing though, Matt, for me, Aileen Seitz and Michelle Andres, as this evening's gone on, we are starting to see they're starting to really find their feet here.
Yeah, they have. But that acceleration from the Italians has put a lot of stress on all the combinations except the 2 they're with, actually. So be interesting if these 3 teams can go on with it, because there is some fatigue back in the main group.
They're going to persist with this one. That bunch is all together out of the group. Come Team 12 of Sigmund and Jarek. The red jersey of Jarek just making a little move now off the front of the bunch. But our leaders, the head of the race, is still with the trio of Guazzini, Consoni, Leach and Lewis, and Seitz and Andres. They have got half a lap here, just starting to edge into the now, Matt, as they start to get into that same straight, they need maybe another little quarter lap here. They've got half a lap at the moment, and it's just hanging out there.
Yeah, and the main peloton just propped a little bit here, and I think when they come around next lap, they're going to have them in the same straight. These 3 teams out front have been cooperating quite well. And we've got just over 30 laps to go, but a sprint coming up in 2 more laps.
Indeed. And if you're going to have a duo with you at the head of the race, Consoni and Guazzini is a good combo to have. The British pairing, though, of Maddie Leach and Sophie Lewis impressing here for the home crowd, along with that Swiss combo, and they're now in the same straight. We go into sprint lap. Little glance back over the shoulder as Sophie Lewis accelerates over the top. Great move from the Brit, going over the top, carrying that great momentum now. Sophie Lewis comes through. She's got to watch it on the line, though, because they come up around the outside. It looked like Guazzini just managed to come through and snatch it on the line.
And actually, Guazzini's actually gone on with it again. She's wrapping up the rest of the group there. And it'll be interesting if Consoni goes on with this attack, because it's a big move.
It is. Straight over the top goes Vittoria Guazzini, throws in Chiara Consoni. So not content with 1 lap, the Italians now are going for 2, but this is why they are the Olympic champions. Chiara Consoni shifts the hands onto the top of the bars there. Great move. Lewis and Leach just trying to recover. This is a big move from the Olympic champions. As we said, that is why they're carrying those gold jerseys with the Olympic rings. And that, Matt, as well, to gain the lap and go straight over the top of the bunch and just hit them again, that's super impressive riding here.
Yeah, it is. They've certainly shown their cards. They're the informed combination. And also, with only 2 sprints, well, obviously a big sprint here coming up. If they can hold on for at least one more of these sprints, it will make a big difference, because they've shown they are the fastest combination. And the other teams will start watching each other, I think, the closer they get to taking that second lap.
They will indeed. They're just looking across the track, and it is the Irish duo that are responsible for the chase. Alice Sharp and Mia Griffin looking around. They've got Lucy Nelson and Nora Tveit with them. But it's a quarter lap gain at the moment with 23 laps to go for Vittoria Guazzini and Chiara Consoni. Consoni, great season that Consoni has had. Another stage win in the Giro, going from the Giro onto the track to take that Olympic Madison title. Comes over the top, and they're starting to nudge this towards half a lap now, Matt.
Yeah, they're making very good inroads. Very good inroads on the main part of the bunch there as they come around for the bell.
Sprint lap this time, just notching up those points. So it's Seitz and Andres, Guazzini and Consoni, Lewis and Leach that are all on the same lap. We go back to 4th with Clay and Hall. You can see constantly looking around, looking up at the scoreboard, looking across the track, seeing where everyone is. You're trying to see where that biggest part of the bunch is ahead of you. You're trying to judge your effort, your acceleration. And when you've got multiple teams going off the front, because we've got one group made up of a whole bunch of teams, I'd say 8 teams, and then we've got a combination of 3 teams, 3 or 4 teams that are also just off the front of a group just ahead, because this bunch here, Matt, has disintegrated under the pressure.
Okay, so you've got 5 teams giving chase there, and then you've got teams scattered all over the track at the moment. As our Italian combination comes up to the back of the struggling teams, but it's going to be a big effort to catch these guys and carry on with it, with only 2 sprints remaining.
It is indeed. We're inside 20 laps to go as Chiara Consoni makes it on to a group of 5 riders just ahead of her, as the bunch regroups just ahead. So this plays into the hands of Consoni. You can see here in that gold jersey with the red one on her sleeves. So regrouping. So they're not far away now. They've just got to get onto that main part of the bunch, and then it'll be a lap gain for them. 10 points for them. Lewis and Leach with 6.
So they've made contact now.
So straight over the top. So they're just absolutely smashing it, you would say, on this one. They're going to come through again, right through to the front. She wants to dictate the pace now, does Vittoria Guazzini, who just settle in on the front with 13 laps to go. Guazzini just bossing the front here, dictating, just looking around left and right. They've really just stamping their authority on this chase.
And she's going to throw Consoni in at the perfect time here, 1.5 laps out from the sprint. So they're going to try to boss 3 sprints in a row here.
They are. Maddie Leach, though, makes the move. Wise to that one for Maddie Leach. Comes through. She throws in Sophie Lewis. Sophie Lewis has got the front, but she has been hunted down here by Chiara Consoni. Consoni's in the slipstream in the back straight. You can see, just kicks out, just holds that momentum, holds that speed, looks to try and launch herself over the top. But Sophie Lewis is going to take maximum points on that sprint. Great win there for Lewis and Leach. That'll do their points tally. No harm at all, but you can see on your scoreboard on the left of your screen, Guazzini Consoni at the top with 10 points and a lap ahead of the next group. You can see Lewis and Leach there take the 5. Guazzini, Consoni, Escalera and Schneider take 2. Browser and Casper take the 1. And a little bit momentary lull here, Matt. We haven't had many in this race.
No. It'll be interesting now to see if any teams have got the strength there to try to put the Italians under pressure here coming into this last sprint, because they really have dominated the last 30 laps.
8 laps to go. 2K. Casper and Browser in the black jerseys with the red and yellow shoulders in the orange. Team 8, Juliet Eickhoff and Kat Ferguson they've got the front. Leach and Lewis, Guazzini, Consoni, the team of Ireland in the green. Alice Sharp and Mia Griffin are your next team. 6 laps to go. Ferguson gets thrown in by Eickhoff in the orange jersey. Double points on the final sprint. Big throw in. 5 to go. Looking around the group. It's the teams here that you may feel as a rider is just knocking off the speed enough that you think you may get another change in before the final sprint.
Yeah, all timing is crucial for this, especially for a double point sprint at the end. So be looking where your teammate is on the track, thinking, oh, I've got a lap and a half to go before I want to put them in. Ideally, in the last 2 laps is the time you want to change.
And you can see it, the riders that are resting, you just try and you kind of throw the anchor out. You want to slow yourself down as much as you can, just to allow your teammate to get up to you with one more change. So 3 laps to go this time. We're looking ahead. It looks like our Olympic champs are going to time this one beautifully. It looks like Lewis and Leach might get a nice change just after Consoni and Guazzini get thrown in here with 2 laps to go. Sophie Lewis carrying the momentum. Can she get to Maddie Leach and throw her in? It's going to be a great time change here for Leach and Lewis. They get thrown in. They're going to launch her right onto the wheel now of Guazzini and Consoni. Big move, 1 lap to go here. Big acceleration on the front from Vittoria Guazzini. Maddie Leach, though, hunting her down, looking for those important points. Guazzini comes over the top. Leach locked and loaded here. Can she find the momentum to come over the top? Guazzini has a glance, recognises that she comes through, but the Olympic champs take that one. Guazzini and Consoni take the points, and Lewis and Leach impress again in that one. What an absolute mighty performance, you would say, from Guazzini and Consoni.
Yeah, look, when Lewis and Leach made that big push with 2-3 laps to go, I thought they had enough to hold them off, but Guazzini was incredible turn of speed to mow the combination down and win 3 of the last 4 sprints.
Phenomenal ride. I think for me it was for Maddie Leach and Sophie Lewis there. It's that moment where they got on with Consoni and Guazzini, but it was the way that Guazzini could just go through and take that second lap. That's where, because you kind of, when you've taken that lap, you feel like you're drowning, and then you get onto the back of the bunch. So for them to just hit them yet again, and that's where Guazzini comes into her own.
Yeah, they were multiple times in that event. As soon as they won the sprint, they went straight to the front. They didn't rest on their laurels. They kept it, pushed the pace, and actually the way they did it as well is they came over the top of fatigued riders, and that also helped them get that initial separation.
Yeah, you can see here Vittoria Guazzini. This is what you love, because for anyone that's watching, they've got in this, you've got your power meter under your saddle. You know, you haven't got it. You can see her just putting it back in here. So just going there, having a little look at your numbers. Okay.
She certainly put out a few. That was an impressive chase.
Yeah. This evening's Velodrome, powered by Vittoria Guazzini. I would say he's just linked them up. If the lights have been dimming, that's why, when she's taken the power off there. But yeah, if you're looking there, you see that you've got your power meter under your saddle, because you can't have it on your handlebars as a track rider. So just has a little glance. But there are winners, and all the gold, and deservedly so.
They've certainly proven this evening that they're the informed pairing.
But great to have the Olympic champs here in this London 3-day. And hats off to the organisers as well for putting together a special jersey for them. As we say, you don't get an Olympic champions jersey in cycling. So when you get something like that, it's something that you keep. And I've got to say as well, this evening, the teams of Maddie Leach, Sophie Lewis are impressed me. Aileen Seitz and Michelle Andres as well have really impressed so far this evening.
They've been pushing the Italians all the way. As you can see, the Italians now have quite a commanding lead, actually, with the highest tally on points and also on laps.
You do, there you have it. So Guazzini Consoni with 23 points, 17 points to Lewis and Leach. They're at a lap with Seitz and Andres. 2 laps back to Sharp and Griffin. Clay and Hall there at 2 laps down with 3 points. And they're level there with Eichhoff and Ferguson, Browser and Casper, Escalera, Schneider, Nelson and Fate, Sigmund and Yarig. 3 laps down, there we go, 3 laps down. No points scored at the moment for Ailey Shaw, Miriam Jessett, Majende, Gulick, Olsen and Selva, Rugovac and Bartonikova and Karasevic and Plosash. That is our GC. Let's go and hear from our winners.
Chiara, Vittoria, a great start to your weekend, closing it out with a win in the final Madison. When you've done 3 events already, how do you get yourself ready to go into a race like that?
Yeah, it's our first 3 days and be here for us, I think, with this jersey especially. It's a pleasure, and with all the people shout to us. But yeah, we know that we are in the end of the hard season, and but we really enjoyed it, and we will see you next days.
Vittoria, you come into London 3-day as the Olympic champions. How are you dealing with the expectation that title demands?
Yeah, for sure. As she said, we have this jersey, and it reminds us what we've done. And I don't think it's something which adds pressure, but for sure it's a great honor for us, and we want to honor it. So yeah, we just want to have fun, and we did it. We have 2 days to come, but yeah, we will see how it will go. But for now, I'm really happy to be here and to race with Chiara.
And finally, any advice for your brother who's about to go out on track?
Yeah, she needs to suffer a bit, and then he needs to suffer a bit, and then he didn't shout anyway.
I love it. Thank you very much, ladies. We'll see you later.
Great to hear from Vittoria Guazzini and Chiara Consoni. That was an impressive chase here at the London 3. Thanks for your company this evening. Hope you're enjoying what is a spectacle of track racing here at the Lee Valley Velopark in London. And next up will be the final men's chase. Our men back on the track for their next chase. So we're just about to get the gun for the start of the next ride of the night. And just like this is where that fatigue as well starts to just hit those legs. You kind of get to this point of the night, don't you? That final change. You've got to ride that because you've been off the track. You kind of you get back on the track. And legs are sticking a bit.
Yeah, I've got 30 minutes to come good.
And this is what track riders are so good at, isn't it? Of just you kind of, you know, getting just multiple events in the night. We're kind of a bit like the Duracell bunny, aren't we, track riders?
They are, and it's not like a normal championship event. You know, when you have the World Championships, the European Championships, you're there for maybe 1 event per night. If you're doing multiple events, it might be over multiple days. But this is the 4th or the 5th time that the men and the women have come out on the track this evening. So it is an endurance event, 4 hours per session. It's a taxing one.
Yeah, and you've got to think of those, you know, the riders get the energy products, and the nutrition side of it is what's always super impressive. But we've got 2 teams trying to go clear here early on, so just trying to hit the rest of the field. So we've got team 13 in the green, Oscar Winkler and Kian Keogh. And just going clear with them are team 11, so Lindsay De Wilder and Jules Hester. And it's a bold strategy, isn't it, to just come into this final chase and think, right, we're going to hit them early.
I'm out of here in the first 1 minute of the event. No, well, but it can pay off because you can catch other teams napping. Teams aren't ready to commit, but it looks like the bunch is not going to give them that free lap that they were looking for.
No, it has been. It has literally been like this since the gun fired for the first chase of the night here at the London 3. Everyone really keen to just get everything going. And when you're coming back into, a lot of riders might have had the world champs, and some riders have been on holiday and have been off So you've got to try to just ride yourself into the evening as well. And this can be, for some riders, the point of the night, depending on your endurance, depending on your physiology. This is when your legs wake up after 3 hours.
Yeah, everyone's coming to this point of the season from a different angle. Like you said, some people have had a long road season behind them. Some people are starting off their big track part of the season, but big winter. And some people do get better as the night goes on, as the days go a little longer.
Head of the race is with Team 13, Team 11 in the green and the reds, but they're just not getting clear. No one wanting to really let them go here at the moment. And the team of James Ambrose Parrish and Will Gilbank in the black jerseys with the big orange spots. I've been impressed with them so far, and the same of the team in yellow. I think we've got to watch out Will Tidball and Will Perrott, the British pairing in those yellow jerseys. They've impressed so far this evening as well.
Yeah, they have been. The two teams are going on with it, but they're just they're not get. Oh, actually they've just missed the change there. Our two lead teams, and they've separated.
It happens from time to time.
It does.
And you're just riding back on. They're just trying to get back on here. Keough and Oscar Winkler just riding back in. Just trying to get back in, but it does take a bit of acceleration. It's taking a little edge off the legs sometimes when you're trying to get back up there. But good acceleration there from Oscar Winkler to get back up to the lead.
All efforts that you don't need at this time of the evening, isn't it? Yeah. It's hard enough to take a lap there. And,
they're just starting to squeeze out half a lap gain here. And the chase, our team in red and our team in green, and our team in green still just not quite on the wheel. Keough here comes through.
As we see, Roger Klug and Ben Wiggins trying to make it across as well.
Now they come out to play. Theo Reinhardt throws in Roger Kluger. Ben Wiggins looking for Yuri Havik. Havik drops down the track. He's looking for a handsling. Our two teams may get some company shortly because they've got a chase in the gap, and it's the team in the European Champs jerseys, the Skoda jerseys, and the team of Havik and Wiggins behind them. Big acceleration, and they've already opened half a lap, our chasers.
Yeah, they look like they're on their way across. Be interesting what the Italians do here. If they content with them going across here, or they're going to keep the pace high enough where they really have to work for their lap.
Simone Consoni on the front of the bunch. Kluger and Havik are right behind them. So our two teams that set off right at the start of the chase have just made contact with the bunch. So a lap gain for Team 11 and Team 13. So De Wilde and Hesters and Winkler and Keough gain the lap, but Kluger and Wiggins are not far away from the back here. They're into the slipstream of the bunch. They're into the same straight here as Havik gets thrown in.
One small hesitation from the bunch here and they'll make contact.
So we'll get an update as you see big attack goes in from Will Perrott. Will Perrott launches the move off the front as Kluger and Havik try to get on. Theo Reinhardt's been thrown in for team number 1. So the Brits launch the move off the front, chased by the Danes. So Schivild and Finbo are giving chase, so they're making life difficult for the duo that are trying to close the gaps down. So we have got two teams that have gained the lap in Winkler and Keough and Hesters and De Wilde.
And our other two teams are just approaching the back of the group here.
Yeah, they're almost on, and we've got 4 teams that have gone clear at the front, and it includes the Italians. So Consoni and Viviani are there. Kluger and Wiggins are about to make contact. Ben Wiggins throws in Yuri Havik at the back of the bunch. There's our, they're almost on They are still the head of the race at the moment, are the teams that are just about to make contact with the back of the bunch in those European champs jerseys, and then the black jerseys with the rainbow cross. So right on the back of the bunch.
Yeah. So they've made it across here, but our other 4 teams are giving a lot of chase here, with the Italians leading the way.
They are there. You can see the contact of Kluger and Reinhardt. Wiggins and Havoc have made contact with the back of the bunch. So it's now Kluger, Reinhardt, Havoc and Wiggins, the Wilder Hesters, Winkler and Keogh that are a lap ahead. So they've gained the lap in this chase. And now we switch the head of the race to our teams. Team number 4 of Elia Viviani and Simone Consoni. The team in orange, Vincent Hoppesack and Philip Heinen. We've got our team in red and white, Robin Skivild and Anders Fimbo. And the team in yellow, team number 16, Will Tidball and Will Perrott. That is now the front of the race. And then we'll give a nod to our sprints this evening. So Will Tidball looks back over the shoulder. And it looks like the next 4 teams are not far away now from the front of the bunch. We've got a couple of teams that have disconnected themselves from the front. So if you're watching this, once the team gets on, and once they lap the field, the head of the race then switches to the team that are at the front. That could be the front of the bunch. It could be a rider or a duo that are off the front of the bunch. So as soon as a team, the breakaway makes contact, there they are, going through. As soon as they make contact, the head of the race then switches to either the front of the bunch or a group off the front. So they're not far away now. They're into the same straight as the group, making life difficult for them though, Matt, at the moment.
Yeah, the pace hasn't totally eased up, and they're sort of stuck there at probably 100 metres behind here. The other 3 teams are relying heavily on the Italians to bring them across. But as long as this pace stays high, it won't be easy for these 4 teams to bridge across.
And also this, when you're making this life, you're thinking of the long game here as well in terms of the next 2 days of racing to come. And if it, as we've said, if it takes you 10, 15 laps to lap the field, that is a lot of matches that you're burning out there as the 4 riders make contact.
Yeah, we've got, so now with the bunch is together, but you've still got 2 teams out front of the race.
So we have the team of Claudio Imhoff and Campbell Parrish, and we have James Ambrose Parrish and Will Gilbank are the teams that are off the front. So the head of the race now switches to the team just crossing the line in the orange and black and the white colours.
What it does, it just gives those 4 teams who just took a lap there just a chance to recover a little bit. But they are very much relying on the teams in front of them to close any gaps. As we can see now, we've got 6 teams have now gone clear. 2 leaders and then another 4 teams chasing heavily.
So that's the front. The pace is definitely on now on the front. They got the lap board into the first sprint. As Will Gilbank looks across, but you can feel the fatigue on the faces of the riders. You can sense just how tough this chase is at the end of the night.
These 2 teams here have made the move a lot quicker. So it's been a tough effort to get across. But they've all the orange polka dot teams missed the change there. That's going to hurt. But they looks like they're going to make contact a lot quicker than the last quartet to bridge across.
And you can see how much, as Matt said, they missed the chase, and you can see just how much it's hurting Will Gilbank to try and get on here. Fresh legs for Claudio Imhoff.
Yeah, one small mistake, he'll be paying for that for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, you're in a world of pain and suffering when that happens, and he's still just trying to get into the bunch here. There you have it. So Kluger, Reinhardt, Viviani, Consoni, Fimbo and Skifield, Havoc and Wiggins, De Wilder and Hesters on the same lap. Here you have it. Let's have a replay. So they go into the change, and he's just completely missed his change there. Just looking for his teammate. It happens from time to time, but it just feels like, as we say, quick drying cement. Feels like you're riding through treacle. Head of the race is with the light blue jerseys, and then the dark blue jerseys with the white sleeves of the Italians. And it's Simone Consoni driving the pace at the front. Ben Wiggins trying to come over the top on the outside for the points, but it is the Italians that take it. Consoni manages to hold on. Good move there from Wiggins. Denis Rugovac up there as well in the light blue jerseys. The Czech riders, De Wilder and Hesters, are the team in red that are also up there. Points on the board.
That was an impressive sprint there. Ben Wiggins was coming fast there, but just not fast enough to get over the top of the Italians. But valuable points collected anyway.
So there you have it. Kluger, Reinhardt, Consoni, Viviani, Imhoff, Parrish, Schiveld and Fimbo. There's a update your point standings. So 5 for Viviani and Consoni, 3 for Havoc and Wiggins. De Wilder and Hesters, 1 point. So you can see we're going down to Rugovac and Vons there that are a lap down. Relentless. It has been absolutely ferocious, the pace. The head of the race is with these 3 teams. The team in red, the team of De Wilder and Hesters. You've got team 5, Rugovac and Vons. And then Havoc and Wiggins. It's Ben Wiggins that is in there, the black jersey with the rainbow cross. Looking to try and gain a lap. This is a sneaky move here. It's a good move here by Ben Wiggins and Yuri Havoc.
No, it is a good move, and it's now the responsibility's gone back on the European champions, our German pairing. But no, the 3 teams here are etching out nearly a half lap advantage as we speak.
And also at this point in the night, for the teams like Viviani, Consoni, Kluger and Reinhardt, that calculation, when you see a team like Havoc and Wiggins sneak into a break like this, you've got to calculate how much you actually want to chase, and you've got to calculate, okay, can we give a lap away to a team like this?
Yeah, definitely. Good timing this in this last third of the chase as well.
So the bunch, pressure goes out of the bunch, plays into the hands of our trio of leaders. Wiggins gets thrown in.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to make contact here.
Yeah, they're into the same straight. Big acceleration now from Ben Wiggins. He's got the back of the bunch in his sight. He wants to get on, and he wants to get on quickly. De Wilder and Hesters. And this is the moment here, get that momentum, just get on to the back of the bunch now. And they're just about there. You get the few teams, you have to go through that little bit of traffic just ahead of you. Those riders that have just changed. But straight away, we've got another trio of teams just clipping off the front. So they're not quite there yet. Yuri Havoc.
No, they're very, very close to making contact there. But Ben Wiggins certainly got caught in traffic there as he made his way. But they have made it now. They've made it now, but as they've made contact to the back of the group to take their lap, 3 other teams have gone clear.
They have. So Havoc and Wiggins, De Wilder and Hesters. The Czech team, Rugovac and Vons, also get clear. So the team in black, Van den Bos and Hornblow. The team in yellow, Tidball and Perrott, who've been impressive so far this evening. The team in red and white, team number 10, Wojciech Skolarski from Poland and Jan Willem-van-Schip from the Netherlands. Great duo. And this here, Matt, they're really punching their way across this gap.
There they have. They've made very, very big inroads in 3 laps. And if the pace stays like this, they'll be back. They'll take their lap in under 5 laps.
Yeah, impressive stuff here. Jan Willem-van-Schip on the front is going to throw in Wojciech Skolarski here. Is this going to be the change that carries them onto the back of the bunch? Tidball gets thrown in by Perrott. They've just lost a few meters off the back, but everyone just snaking around on the back of the bunch, finding their way through the traffic, and they make contact with the back of the bunch.
That's been impressive. That's an impressive lap. Short and sweet. but it's a way to do it if you can.
Nicely done. And straight away, Simone Consoni throws down a big turn on the front and stretches the bunch out, just making life difficult for those teams as soon as we get an update on once they are deemed to have gained the lap, because the bunch is stretching and it's under the pressure of Elia Viviani and Simone Consoni, with Robin Schiveld and Anders Finbo. British duo of James Ambrose Parrish and Will Gilbank are also there, but the riders in the red number in that European Champs jersey of Theo Reinhardt is also at the head of the race. So we have 4 riders just crossing the start-finish line. There they are. They're now your leaders. So Havoc and Wiggins, De Wilde and Hester, Skolarski and Vanchkit, Van den Bossen, Hornbo, Tidball and Perrett have all now been deemed to be a lap ahead, and it's now down to those group: Kluger, Reinhardt, Viviani, Consoni, Ambrose Parrish and Gilbank, Schiveld and Finbo, now to try and get themselves back on terms.
Yeah, this is a big move here, because Consoni and Viviani are leading on points, but they are trailing by a lap here. So if they can make contact, they will resume race lead.
They will indeed, and they can see the back of the bunch, and it is the big man Roger Kluger on the front here. Newly minted world champion yet again, the big German. And they're almost there. Theo Reinhardt puts in a good turn here, just finds his way through that traffic, the melee at the back of the bunch to make contact. And now this map, as we go on through this chase, this is where the points are now going to start to be important.
Yes, we've got just over 10 minutes to go here. They've made contact, so they will now take back the lead. They're a Toyota in combination.
Rugovac and Vons, they've really settled into this racing this evening, the Czech riders.
Yeah, they have.
Behind, Owain attacks off the front of the bunch in the team in the light blue with the Union Jacks on the jerseys. Rugovac gets thrown in by Jan Vons as Owain just that really measured style that Owain has. He's had 1 win so far this evening in the Derny race, but the Czech team, this very similar colours. This is where Alex Dowsett's power can come into play here to try and get on to the Flying Czechs. Update you on your scoreboard. So it's at the top, Havoc and Wiggins with those 3 points. De Wilde and Hester, Schiveld and Finbo, Skolarski, Vanchkit. Then down through that order. Alex Dowsett almost on to the rider ahead of him. It's great to see Alex Dowsett back and racing on the track.
We've got a big push from behind here from our British combination as well, the yellow team.
Big change as they get thrown in, trying to get on to those leaders, and a big move coming from Lindsay De Wilde and Jules Hester. Lindsay De Wilde attacking off the front here for Team 11 in the red, trying to get themselves on terms with Tidball and Perrett, and they do, as Wiggins and Havoc also make that move off the front, making life difficult for those leaders who have been joined at the front. So we have a group of 5 just off the front, so the 2 teams in the light blue. Team number 5, team number 2. Then we've got team 16, but they're not letting them go. Reece Breton and Frank Longstaff on the front. Kluger and Reinhardt recognise the danger here of letting Wiggins and Havoc sneak off the front.
Yeah, the Germans have seen the danger here and are bridging across very quickly as we approach 2 laps to go there before our 4th last sprint of the evening.
As we're getting into those that final 40 laps, 32 laps to go this time. It's been a fairly savage night here of chases, hasn't it?
It has.
It has not let up at all. Yuri Havoc, for me, though, Matt, has always been that sort of Madison rider, that tracker. He's so stealth-like. He's so good at just sneaking into a move as we get the bell, and he does it yet again with the teams here, Lindsay de Wilde and Jules Hester in those red jerseys. Havoc is going to be able to throw Wiggins in for that final sprint here. Coming into that sprint, 30 laps to go this time. Wiggins comes through, nicely done.
Nice change and turn of speed from Ben there to take those 5 points.
The red jerseys, de Wilde and Hester's, and unfortunately for Tidball and Perret and Havoc and Wiggins, you can see it's just a little bit too much. Vincent Hoppersack and Philip Hine in the team 8 in the orange. Super impressive move though. This is a lightning quick move though by the team in orange.
It was like he was shot out of a cannon.
It was.
He's come across that gap like there was people standing still.
We'll just give you an update on Sprint 2. So Havoc and Wiggins took 5, Tidball and Perret took 3, Dool and Dowsett took 2, de Wilde and Hesters took the 1. .26 laps to go. Kluger and Reinhardt are on the front. So at the top with 8 points, Havoc and Wiggins, 5 points, Viviani, Consoni, Tidball and Perret have got 3 points. De Wilde and Hesker, Skiveld, Finbo, then Skolarski and Van Schip, Van der Bos, Hornblow, Tanfield, and 12s. Ambrose Parish and Gilbank, they're the teams that are on the same lap. Then we go back to Rugovac and Vons, who are a lap down. But we've got 4 teams here, Matt, really giving a good chase.
It'll be a big one here if Havoc and the Wiggins combination can firstly win this sprint and then bridge across. They're already leading on points, but if they can take another lap, that'll be a game changer.
Yeah, certainly will. We've got 4 teams about to make contact with the back of the bunch. We get 1 lap to go into the sprint, and the head of the race switches to Wiggins and Havoc, and Ambrose Parish and Gilbank are the front and the sprint. They are now the head of the race as we come round to the line as Gilbank and Paris come up on the inside up towards the line. Yuri Havoc comes through, takes a 2nd place on that sprint. There you have it. There's the head of the race. It switches to Yuri Havoc and Ben Wiggins. It's Yuri Havoc that is on the track. James Ambrose Parish, the local boy. This is his local track. Throws in Will Gilbank on the chase. So update on your points scored. And they're almost now on to the back of the bunch here, Matt. This is an important one with 18 laps to go.
It is. They're going to have to do it quickly here, but they are leading already on points. And if they can take this lap back, it will put them back into the lead. They'll need to do it quickly, get through the traffic fast, because there will be another acceleration in this bunch as we've got 2 more sprints to go.
Yeah, the hammer will well and truly go down soon, so you need to get on, and the changes have to happen and happen quickly. You could be 10 meters off the back, and all of a sudden someone drops the big hammer on the front, and you could be another 50 meters off the back just when you thought you've got on. Ben Wiggins now riding on to the back of the bunch, throws in Yuri Havoc. That lap gain almost done now for them, as the commissaire now deems the front of the race at the front of the bunch. So another lap gain. That's an important one. Beautifully timed there, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. And look, they've got quite a good cushion now, with a 10-point lead on the second team with the same laps.
So it's Havoc and Wiggins, 13 points. Tidball and Perret on 3, de Wilde and Hesters, and then we go 1 lap back to Consoni, Viviani, Van Schip and Skolarski, Skiveld and Finbo. They're the teams that have scored some points. We've got some movement now at the front as the team in red, De Wilde and Hesters, just start to make their move off the front. Rugovac and Vonch, again, the team in the light blue, the Czech riders that are up there. You can see the heads start to go now, Matt, at this point of the evening as the legs are screaming, the lungs are screaming. You're seeing stars at this point of the evening.
Yeah, you can see a few heads getting tilted to a little bit of an angle here as we come up to our second last sprint of the evening.
It is penultimate sprint of the night, and it is the team of Lindsay De Wilde and Jules Hester that are off the front, but Theo Reinhardt is dragging the group back in the European champs jerseys. As they come through, it is Hester's and De Wilde that take maximum points. It did look like Reinhardt and Kluger scored. Will they try and make a late move here? 10 laps to go. You get to this point in a Madison, you get to this point in a chase here, Matt. 10 laps is just about enough if you smash it and hit it hard.
Yeah, the pace has stayed on after that sprint. It's going to be hard now to take a lap in this short period because I think a lot of the key teams are watching each other here. But double points coming up.
Yeah, you just need that pace to just drop off a touch, and it's not. It looks like it's going to be a big lead out into that final sprint. Kluger.
It's been an impressive ride from Havoc and Wiggins, actually, in this Madison. They've taken a lot of points and a couple of laps at the same time.
They have indeed. Simone Consoni launches himself off the front. We said if you're going to take the sprint, if you're going to take 7 laps, would be a tall order, especially with the bunch chasing in the way that they are behind. We've got 6 laps to go this time, and it is the combo of Elia Viviani and Simone Consoni off the front. Consoni is going to throw Elia Viviani at full speed. You can feel that change there as Elia Viviani is launched in, gets some height on the track, will drop in, gets himself back up to speed using the transitions of this London Velodrome to absolute perfection.
This is an all or nothing move, this one. The Italians are committed. They are very committed to take the double bonus sprints.
It is full Hail Mary here from Viviani and Consoni, but it is De Wilde and Hesters that bring it back together. Kluger gets up there. That was a mighty move there from the Italians, but it doesn't pay off for them. And here comes Will Perrett over the top in that yellow jersey. 3 laps to go now. It is the British combo who have impressed here so far this evening. Elimination victory in those yellow jerseys. Can the 2 Brits take maximum points on this final sprint? It's Havoc and Wiggins that are leading. They've got the 13 points. De Wilde and Hester second, Tidball and Perrett third. They need these 10 points. It would be a great point score. You can see just tying up very slightly as Will Tidball gets thrown in. We're going to get the bell this time. Beautifully timed change here now from team in the yellow jerseys. Will Tidball on the front. Simone Consoni, we're 4 wide behind as they try to come down the back straight. It's Theo Reinhardt on the outside. Can Will Tidball hold this sprint? He's holding the momentum. They come up towards him. Tidball takes the maximum points. Hesters and De Wilde. Reinhardt and Kluger also took some points, and it looked like the combo there of Vincent Hoppesack and Philip Heinen take the last place in the points.
That was another impressive attack by our yellow team there. They caught the Italians napping. A good acceleration with 3 laps to go, and again did enough to hold on with fast incoming European champions, but just wasn't quite fast enough.
There's your sprint, and they have impressed. Watch out for them as the 3 days go on here. So Will Tidball and Will Perrett take those all-important points there, but it will be Yuri Havoc and Ben Wiggins that take that final chase there, it looked like. We'll see. So 10 points puts them on 13 though as well. De Wilde and Hesters, Kluger and Reinhardt take the 4. Hoppesack and Heinen take the 2. And yeah, so we go to the points. We will wait for confirmation of that one, but 10 points, that puts them level on points and level on laps as well.
Yeah,
and they'll take that because they won.
It looks like they should be all tied up at the top of the table there.
And they have been super impressive tonight, this duo. The other, as we said, Wiggins and Havoc, so stealthy in that. I think as this weekend goes on as well, you've really got to watch for them. That endurance from the end of the night there as well to take that. Super impressive.
And so Tidball and Perrott, if they've tied with Wiggins and Havoc, they will win because they won the last sprint of the evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have it. They come through, and there's confirmation. So Tidball and Perrott, they took that final sprint. They took the maximum double points, and by virtue of winning that last sprint, it gives them the victory. Team of the night. Could we call them 2 wins the way they've won this?
No, they have been very impressive.
So the team of yellow jersey insurance, the team in the yellow jerseys here in the London 3. Great night. Happy days for them. But for maybe the teams we would call our big name teams, our Klugers and our Reinhardts and our Havocs and our Wiggins and our Consonis and Vivianis, they're not going to have the freedom of the next 2 nights that they may have had here this evening. Our team here of Tidball and Perrott, it's that kind of surprise attack on the first night. They're going to be really mindful of these two as the weekend goes on.
Oh, definitely. I think they came in as underdogs, but they've certainly shown this evening that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with over the 3 nights.
Yeah, we love a plucky underdog, and they've come through. They've definitely proved their worth here this evening. So we had 3 teams there in the end, Matt, on 13 points.
Yeah, so it all came down to the last sprint with the British combination winning the last sprint, which put them in first place on countback. It was a tight one.
And let's go down and hear from Will Tidball and Will Perrott.
Will, I'm going to call you Will number 1. Will number 1, again, it comes down to your devastating sprint. Where did you find the legs?
Oh, I don't know. I've been saving them all year, so, had to use them at some point.
Well, he was scratch race world champ, so he's pretty quick, isn't he?
I mean, you guys do have the experience in this arena, but how much are you leaning on that when you're coming to the 3-day format?
Well, yeah, we've raced here quite a few times. I've raced here for the Champs League for the last couple of years. And yeah, it's just a really nice track. The thing is, you've got extra morale because, most of the people in the crowd are cheering us on and wanting us to do well. So, yeah, when it's getting a bit grippy at the end, that final lap take was pretty hard, wasn't it? And then in the sprint, I went long and, paid off. Tidball held it off and, that was a close finish. Top 3 on 13 points, so, pretty good.
Not bad at all. But we've got 2 days still to come. Talk me through the recovery strategies and how much you actually do need to do in between the racing.
A lot of sleep. I think, we'll have we'll be quite wired tonight, but a long lie-in in the morning. We start racing in the afternoon, before then in the evening. So, it's just about getting the fuel in, getting the sleep in, getting the legs up, not doing a massive amount because we've got a hard couple of days to come. So that's it, really.
Team GB, can't wait to see where you go next. See you soon.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Great night's racing for Will Perrott and Will Tidball. There's your GC. So De Wilder and Hester's at the top with Havoc and Wiggins. They are level on laps. We go a lap down to Viviani and Consoni, Kluger and Reinhardt, Holpersack and Heinen, 2 laps back there to Tidball and Perrott, 3 laps back to Van der Bos and Hornblow, Skolarski, Van Schip, Schkivold and Finbo, Rugovac and Vons at 4 laps. That is our top 10 so far. Ambrose Parish and Gilbank, Tanfield at 12s, Britton and Longstaff, Dool and Dowser, Imhoff, Parish, Winkler and KO are your top 16. That is our order after night 1 here at the London 3. That's our elite men's GC. A great night's racing. Thanks for your company this evening. Let's update you on our women's GC after what has been an outstanding final chase that we had there from Guazzini Consoni, Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach, though. Impressive night of racing for them. It will resume tomorrow. We've got Saturday and Sunday to come.
I think what we saw in the men's classification is you look at that top 6 or 7 teams and you can throw a blanket over them, really. Points wise, it's not too different, and only a couple laps separate them all.
Super close. Our women's general classification after night 1 looks like this. So Vittoria Guazzini, Chiara Consoni at the top, a lap ahead of Sophie Lewis and Maddie Leach. We've got Mia Griffin and Alice Sharp at 2 laps ahead of Seitz and Andres, Browser and Casper. Archibald and Evans are there, Majende, Gulick, Eichhoff, Ferguson, Clay and Hall, Sigmund and Yarrick are our top 10. You can see they're 4 laps down. So throughout the evening's chases, you can see where those lap gains and lap losses play out as the night goes on in terms of our general classification. Nelson and Veit, Escalera and Schneider, Shaw and Jessett, Olsen and Selva, Rugovac, Bartonikova, Karasavit and Plosaj, 7 laps down there, but still a lot of racing to come here at the London 3. Great night, Matt. Really enjoyed that.
It has been. It's 4 hours have gone very quickly. We haven't had too much time to rest in between the races, and the athletes have shown they are incredible athletes to back up time and time again and compete in 4 or 5 events in a 4-hour window.
Well, I've enjoyed it this evening. Ned Bolting will be with you this weekend with Matt White. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage here at the London 3. Make sure you join us for more action tomorrow from Marty McDonald and Matt White. We'll see you soon. Have a great night. Bye for now. More action tomorrow from Marty McDonald and Matt White. We'll see you soon. Have a great night. Bye for now.